First of all, listen, it's interesting about all these young guys today. They never call on us and say, hey, thanks for the kind word and telling me how great a player I am. But when they play like crap and we call them out, we don't know what we're talking about. Listen, I'm easy to find, but I get sick of these guys complaining. These young guys, they never call us and say, when a coach is wrong, I'm going to call him out. But when players are wrong, I'm going to call them out. But listen, I'm going to criticize guys that they deserve it. And listen, they can kiss my ass if they don't like it.
Happy birthday to you! Happy birthday to you! Happy birthday, dear Kevin! Happy birthday to you!
How do you do that? How do you do that? What the hell is going on?
They're so wrong for that. What's going on, YouTube? It's Nathan back with another video presentation. I hope you guys are all doing well. I hope you're all staying safe. We're having a great weekend. I hope you guys are ready for the week. July is upon us. It's finished. I can't believe that after this week. Before we get into it, there is a couple of things I need to say up front. So as you see, this has now been re-uploaded. Episode 1 of season 2 of Big Nick Talk podcast has been re-uploaded. So I had to take down the previous one because I got an email from YouTube pretty much saying that I got it. There's a copyright claim of a video that I played about the Cleveland baseball team that is going to be renamed the Cleveland Guardians. And there was Tom Hanks and the Black Keys played in the background, and I did not think about that. So the video was blocked worldwide, so I took it down, and this is going to be re-uploaded. So it's the same topics. If you had not already seen it, it'll be the same structure. So we're going to get a lot to get into it tonight. Have some special guests joining me this evening. I got Abs and Nick Rosario from Let's Talk Football. And tonight we're going to talk about the Baltimore Orioles. They swept the Washington Nationals, the first time they swept the Nationals since 2010. The Cleveland baseball team's been renamed the Guardians. We're going to recap a little bit of basketball, kind of reminisce a few things. Team USA basketball lost to France, and I'm going to give my take on why I think everyone needs to calm down and just need to face the reality. I'm going to revisit two subjects: Cappie Pondexter and Liz Cambage, more drama in Atlanta with the Atlanta Dream. And then I'm going to bring Abs in on Bradley Beal, and then Nick Rosario will join us for more NFL talk around this NFL talk. So my first topic for the night, Maria Taylor has officially left ESPN. If you have not been following the fiasco that's been going on, she is no longer with ESPN. She's now with NBC Sports. Pretty much, her contract expired, I kid you not, literally the day after the NBA Finals. And this is in the midst of a controversial moment where a conversation that was recorded and leaked of Rachel Nichols and one of LeBron James's representatives about pretty much Rachel not willing to sacrifice or not willing to give up her seat for Maria Taylor. And unfortunately, ESPN not being the bigger person behind closed doors, sending them both down, the cat was out of the bag. So unfortunately, like I said, I've not been a fan of ESPN the last few years. It's just gotten really stagnant. I mean, besides, I would say probably watching Mike Greenberg, Greeny, with Get Up and maybe First Take. It's just not. It's ESPN is just not the same. It's become very political, but unfortunately, sports and politics have kind of meshed in there. So she's, besides her Olympic gig, where she's actually coming to the Olympics right now, she will also do work with football, Sunday night football, and the Super Bowl. So I can't wait to see that. So, quote, this is from the incredibly excited to have the opportunity to work with Pete, Molly, Sam, Fred, and the entire NBC family. Maria Taylor said in the statement for NBC, literally hosting the Olympics, football night in America, the Super Bowl is what I dreamed of when I started television. And would not be possible without standing on the shoulders of all of those who came before me and made this path possible. And I plan to pay it forward. So I can't wait to see what she brings to the table. I'm excited for her. I wish her nothing but the best. I can't wait to see her when football season starts, especially, with Tony Dungy and all those boys. So I'm excited for her. I'm going to transition into a little baseball. The Baltimore Orioles, ladies and gentlemen, completed a 3-game sweep of the I-95 Beltway Series against the Washington Nationals. They won in the bottom of the ninth, 5-4. Ramon Urias hit a fielder hit to a fielder's choice, and Ryan McKenna scored the game-winning run. Couple things I took away from this game. The hitting was great. The hitting has been spectacular this whole series. The pitching, the bullpen has played exceptional. Has been playing a lot better. Paul Fry, Cole Sulser, Cesar Valdez. I know I've been on the whole season. He got out of a jam, bases loaded. John Means had a good start tonight. And she also does college football. Thank you, Sean. Shout out to Sean Spencer. Welcome. And John Means this was a second start ever coming off the DL. He did a really good job. The Nationals are just kind of at this point, they got to really figure out what they're going to do. I know there's a talk about Max Scherzer being traded, looking probably at a potential partner because, at this point, they're not the same team from a few years ago when they won the World Series, and they're 8 games back from the Mets in the division. So they got to ask themselves, are we going to commit? Are we going to buy? Or are we going to sell? So Brad Hand in the bottom of the ninth, I thought when he hit Franco, it was a slider, which was ironic. There was 4 batters hit by pitches, and then gave up a single to Ryan McKenna, and then walked Austin Hayes, and then Pat Flint hit the game-tying sacrifice fly, and then that was the end of the game. So, again, like Brad Hand, he's making $11.5 million. Then you got Daniel Hudson, Josh Harrison. We'll see. But the Orioles have been playing really well, and let me just see who they're playing next. The whole series, I'm really proud of this team. Really proud of these boys. They're still 34 and 64. That's really painful to see. And they're 26 games back from first place. Oh, God. But we played those Marlins. Those Marlins, last time they were playing the Padres. They just won. They won today 9-3. So, the Marlins are coming into this series red hot. They're 11 games out of first place in the NL East. So, big ups to the Orioles. The Cleveland Guardians. Yes, your eyes are not deceive you. That is the new name for the Cleveland baseball team, as they are moving on from being called the Indians. This name has gotten some positive and some negative feedback. I don't really know what to honestly truly feel about it. We'll leave a link in the description for y'all to see why the name change happened. I would like to really know what else was out there as far as names. Guardians, that's interesting. I don't have no right or wrong to it. I would like to know what else was a potential name changer. So I'm curious to see what it's going to look like. We're going to transition into basketball. NBA recap this past season. Oh, what a year! What last year with the bubble. The Lakers winning. Kobe Bryant, rest in peace. Unfortunately, dying tragically along, with his daughter in a helicopter accident. To Rudy Gobert being the first person in the NBA to test positive for COVID-19, to not having basketball until about June, July, and really seeing guys down in the bubble. Some didn't want to be there. Some of them wanted, with the summer of, with George Floyd and Breonna Taylor, Ahmaud Arbery. It was a very hot summer. Same thing with the WNBA. I remember that I didn't know what the plan was. They postponed games, and then this year, I know like the Lakers had the least days off, and they only had 72 days of rest. So many storylines. James Harden showed me that he was not really a true leader when he was with the Houston Rockets. I think the way he left, I thought it was, in my personal opinion, I thought it was uncalled for. I thought it was selfish. He abused his power. Russell Westbrook and John Wall being traded. I thought, John Wall, we hadn't really seen him play basketball in over 2 years, and I didn't know what he was going to look like. And Russell Westbrook coming to Washington, Wall going to Houston. Kevin Durant, Kyrie, James Harden forming a super team. The rise of the Phoenix Suns. They haven't been in the playoffs since 2010. The Memphis Grizzlies making the playoffs. I would have liked to see Klay Thompson back, but unfortunately had another setback. So I could see him back this upcoming season. Man, LaMarcus Aldridge retiring, sadly, due to heart, so that relates to the heart. So many storylines. Yeah, and then obviously Giannis winning in the Milwaukee Bucks win the finals. Kawhi Leonard and the Los Angeles Clippers making their first Western Conference Finals appearance in over 50 years. There's so many, just a lot of storylines, and I can't wait to see what next year brings. Like I said, I enjoyed this playoff run with no LeBron, no Golden State. Let the Milwaukee Bucks kill this narrative that you need the best players in the world to win a championship. And, you could sit there and say, well, Brooklyn didn't have Harden, didn't have Kyrie. Well, but Anthony Davis doesn't go down, or, different things like that. But, injuries are part of the game. Jamal Murray, so many injuries this year. And it wasn't even funny. Then Scottie Pippen coming out with his ignorant comments saying Phil Jackson is a racist. And then again, also too, I got to really give the NBA some love from this standpoint. 50% of the NBA is coached by minorities. Nate McMillan is now the head coach going forward, hopefully, for Atlanta. Ime Udoka for the now head coach for the Boston Celtics, replacing Brad Stevens. Jason Kidd replacing Rick Carlisle in Dallas. Willie Green, New Orleans. Jamal Mosley in Orlando. Chauncey Billups in Portland, and then Wes Unseld Jr. with the Wizards. It just really lets me know that the NBA is going in a direction of being diverse. You know, we also I can't ignore exposure, and I know I missed another coach, a couple coaches all the time. Monty Williams, Ty Lue. There's another coach I can't think off the top of my head, but it'll come to me. But I would like to see more diversity in on ownership, front offices. I would even like to see, hopefully, I would be able to see like a Becky Hammon, Teresa Witherspoon, others that are deserving of a coaching opportunity. So, just been a great season for basketball, and I can't wait. I can't wait for next season. I'm all excited. So, I want to transition to Team USA basketball. So Team USA's men's basketball lost to France. Let me start off by saying this. I let me make sure I want to make sure I said the right things here. We've been spoiled. We have been spoiled with winning. Like, let me put it to you like this. Okay? Since when the Dream Team was formed in 1992, right? You could arguably say that was probably the best team that was put on the floor for the United States. You can even put 2008, 2012, 2016. But it seems like to me like when it comes to basketball, like the United States over time, basketball has become a global sport. Like, I can't stress that enough. Like, for example, right? Other names for Cleveland were the Rockers, Rockets, Nat, Buckeyes, Spiders. That was actually a good one. Midge and Wild Things. Huh. Okay. Thank you for that. Thank you, Sean. Back to what I was saying. Like, these guys, these other countries, losing to Nigeria, playing against Australia, France, like, we're taking, like, I hate to say it, but we're moving the goalposts by not really giving these countries credit for just playing a good game. Like, I'm looking at the box score for today's game. We lost against France, right? So, like, Kevin Durant didn't have that great of a game. 4 or 12 from the field, even though he had 10 points. Damian Lillard didn't have an offensively great game. Jason Tatum, Drew Holiday, your best player, honestly, was Bam Adebayo, and he had 12 points. Drew Holiday had 18. You know, it's amazing. Drew Holiday not too long ago just came off of playing 94 feet defensively and getting involved. And to me, for everybody, for one, to really disrespect Greg Popovich and saying that his time has passed, like it really bothers me. Like, if you know basketball, like there's more to the game than just what you're seeing now with basketball now. Like, let me point this out to you. I think the last 5 shots in that possession when we lost, all bricks. That's not Greg Popovich's fault. You got a lot of guys. Keep in mind with this, people. The United States basketball team lacks bigs. Your only big is JaVale McGee. Okay. Perimeter defense. There's a lot of there's a lot of individual success, not team work. That's what I see. Greg Popovich, like, for people to go like, we need LeBron back. We need Melo. We need Steph. We've been spoiled. Instead, give these countries the credit that they deserve for one. As time has progressed, they've gotten better. And look what some of what they're producing. Rudy Gobert, defensive player of the league. Evan Fournier. Frank, no, he didn't play. Nando DeColo. I mean, like, it's like we're just taking away their moment, and we're like, man, like if we had Coach K, we had LeBron, we had those guys. Oh man, it'd be a different team. We've been spoiled. We have been absolutely spoiled, and I refuse to let Greg Popovich get disrespected like that. Greg Popovich is a Hall of Fame coach. It's not his fault that the team is not the same. You know, if that's the case, you need to hold R.C. Buford and the ownership together. Like, I'm gonna give you a quote here. Shout out to Worldwide Rob Perez. I get the whole quote. I get the whole insert all NBA great player here. Wouldn't have ever let this happen argument. And you may be right. That should not take away the progression of other competing countries that have made in a short amount of time. A perfect world lineup of Steph, LeBron, Kawhi, KD, and AD probably wins no matter what. But we've seen only two of these teams since Dream and Redeem assembled since the inception. Like injuries, this isn't our best team. It's not an excuse, and every country can say the same. Like, I don't really understand what more, like, it's one game, one game into the Olympics, and it's, oh my gosh, all hell is broken loose. Like, calm down. I just don't get it. But in the United States, they lost that game. Why? Because of guys not hitting shots. And again, like I said, if you're, let me pull up box again. Keldon Johnson, Zach LaVine, Damian Lillard, Chris Middleton. Chris Middleton only played 5 minutes. Jeremy Grant didn't play. Tatum, JaVale McGee only played less than under 2 minutes. Bam Adebayo, Draymond, Devin Booker. Like, they didn't have great games. That's not a coach. That's players. They could get better by what? Being in the gym, which I know they do. Don't misconstrue my words. But there is a lot of individuals who make up a team and not a team of individuals. That's what I see with Team USA.
How do you do that? How do you do that? What the hell is going on?
It was bound to happen. I gotta give my girl Lexi Brown a quick shout out. She said, let me find that. We keep trying to tell y'all that overseas bump is different. It's different. You gotta give them credit. I mean, like I said, look at the draft Ben Simmons came out of. The most international draft of the NBA. NBA is now global. And we have to understand that these countries over time have slowly but surely been not getting on the same level, sport-wise, basketball-wise, just like with the United States. So let me look at the next opponent who they play real quick on top of my head. They play Nigeria. Oh, that's the women's. Hold on. Let's try to look at the schedule real quick. So they play, looks like it's Iran Wednesday, and the women play Nigeria tomorrow. So it's only one game, and they'll get it together.
How do you do that? How do you do that? What the hell is going on?
I'm going to transition to the next topic. I'm going to revisit Cappie Pondexter. I did talk about this in the previous episode 16. If you have not already, I have a playlist of that on my YouTube channel. I just want to emphasize this: mental health is real. It's serious, and what she's going through currently. We just thoughts and prayers. I find it really, really disgusting that there are people that are benefiting off of this, trying to say we believe you. They're feeding into it, and I don't like that because it's not helping the situation. Um, it's honestly and truthfully, it's really sad to see someone as great as a basketball player she was go through this. And um, again, man, I just thoughts and prayers, and I just think that we got to really, really be careful with this because this is unfortunately. I pray this doesn't happen, but I really hope pray she gets the help that she needs because she could either end up harming herself or someone. Because some of the things she's been saying has been very, very off kilter. Saying LeBron's a sex trafficker. She owns Nike. Jeff Bezos is exactly. Thank you, Sean. Pray for her. Jeff Bezos is responsible for 9/11. Those are things that that doesn't sound right. So just pray for her, y'all, and let's be a helping hand. For not just her, but those that we may know or know of that are going through something. This pandemic, you've really seen. You're give another year or two, you really see what COVID's done to us as a global community. So, just thoughts and prayers for her, man. I'm going to transition next into Liz Cambage. This is another revisited topic. Liz Cambage was a little controversial. Um, some things went down while she was in Vegas, and they're saying what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, but it obviously got out there. So I was reading something on Yahoo Sports Australia, and quote, this is from her when she came out of when she made her statement about wanting to withdraw from the team. I've been having breakdowns in the car park at Whole Foods, nonstop panic attacks, hyperventilating, and at the thought of going into one of the most high pressure situations that's already in a bubble with no fans, no friends. I never played without fans, Cambage said in the heartfelt video on Instagram. And unfortunately, there was an altercation, physical altercation with someone on the Nigerian team. And then there were some other things that was going on. She's been disrespectful to other teammates, and she was breaking COVID protocols and different things like that. And unfortunately, they were going to kick her off the team. And like not a day later, she came out with the mental health statement, which I did touch on that. So there's a video where she responded to all the media criticism that she got. So I'm gonna play that real quick.
Go again. So first of all, I'd like to say a big thank you to everyone who sent me a lot of love for the past 16 hours. Thank you. I love y'all. This decision had been a few days. It had been a few days in the making, but I've been at breaking point for like a month or so now. But as soon as I put out that little statement yesterday and made the final decision, I felt a world of anxiety and pressure and heaviness I have been carrying lift straight off me. I'm pretty annoyed at all the fake news and the lies that I'm seeing floating around in news articles I'm being shown and being asked about. Yeah, I just want to say this decision was coming, and I'm happy I finally made it on my own terms. It's sad that news got leaked yesterday that I didn't even know about. Yeah, things got heated in the Nigeria game. There was a physical altercation and there was words exchanged, but I'm hearing things that aren't true at all, flying around from people in Australia and America, which is crazy. But everything that happened and everything that I said is on film. So I know what happened, and I do not appreciate the lies and the people constantly trying to tear me down. Hating on me won't bring you love at all. But hey, I've been trapped in this room with no view, with nothing for a week. Of course, I'm gonna lose my mind in here. You serious? I'm seeing reports.
So I'll leave this link in the description for y'all to see. But I mean, like, we really, honestly, truthfully, I hate to say it, but we didn't really. Sometimes we don't have facts on what's really going on, and I just feel like this was one of those situations. Again, it's a she said, they said situation. I mean, eventually the truth's going to come out, but I don't think it's real. To me, there's a line of where's the accountability? Like when you're hearing that she's breaking COVID protocol, where she's out partying and different things like that, that's coming from somebody. And unfortunately, she's not going to give you the full story. She's going to give you what she's going to say, and so is the team. But it's going to come down the middle for sure. So, I mean, I hope she's doing well. I mean, again, thoughts and prayers for her, but we'll see how that situation continues to follow. The Atlanta Dream. Oh, man. This is something's going down in the ATL with the Atlanta Dream, man. I mean, I think by now y'all should know I'm an avid WNBA fan, and the Atlanta Dream, so something's just not right. Like Mike Peterson, who's the interim head coach, who stepped in for Nikki Cohen, who took Kim Mulkey's job at Baylor. Things have been happening. So Mike Peterson yesterday decided to step down as head coach because of health reasons. Quote, for health reasons that the grind of the WNBA season will not allow me to adequately address, I have decided to step down from my coaching duties with the Dream, Peterson said. I want to thank the Atlanta Dream players, staff, ownership for the opportunity to be part of an amazing organization. It has been a pleasure working and getting to know Coach Mike. Dream's majority owner, Larry Gossensteiner, said, we appreciate his willingness to step up and take on the role of head coach this season and everything he's done for the team. His leadership and his experience and leadership will continue to benefit the organization as he transitions into his new role. So the Atlanta Dream also on the top of that are not really having a great year. At this pace, if the playoffs started before the Olympic break, they would have missed the playoffs their third consecutive season. Nikki Cohen left in the middle of training camp, which was oddly weird to me. Kennedy Carter was out for a month due to an elbow injury, and then Tiffany Hayes went down with a knee injury. And Cheyenne Parker missed the first 6 games because she had COVID. She made a video about how she didn't, it was a conspiracy. I'm basically kind of paraphrasing. She didn't believe she had it. And then she will not play this season because she announced on the Players Tribune that she's pregnant. Congratulations, by the way, Cheyenne. And then there's some other things that have been going on. Also, too, they cut my girl, Kalani Brown, out of Baylor, who, by the way, y'all, she looks good. Y'all need to check her Instagram. She looks really good, y'all. There's some also drama that's going on. Supposedly, Kennedy Carter, she's suspended until further notice for conduct detrimental to the team. And she didn't play the last 2 games before they went on the Olympic break. And we don't know when she's coming back. We don't know. We don't really know what was going on. Some people saying her Courtney Williams got into a fight. Some people saying it was Tiffany Hayes, Odyssey Sims. It's really a mess right now down in Atlanta. When you're hearing again, this is coming from sources within the team. I'm not saying it. They said it. I did a video on it. Check it out. There's no accountability from top to bottom. That just lets me know that right now there's just pure dysfunction in Atlanta. I think Atlanta, honestly, they're a good team. They have great players. I like Odyssey Sims. I like Monique Billings, Tiana Hawkins, former Mystic, Strickland. They got and Courtney Williams. They got some dogs, but and Elizabeth Williams. I can't forget about her. But like I said, the Atlanta Dream lack a leader, and they need a true leader. And unfortunately, like, it would not surprise me if you see more of this continue. So, and also too, just a quick note: be on the lookout for just the first half review of the WNBA season. That video will probably be out sometime either tomorrow or Tuesday. So just be on the lookout for that. So, my last topic for basketball, I'm going to bring in Abs, who is a Wizard fan just like me. And Abs, what's going on, sir? You're muted.
My bad.
You're good. So Ab, it's Bradley Beal is considering wanting out before the draft. How do you feel about that?
So while you were doing your thing, man, I was just reading up on some stories and everything like that. So Woj and Zach Lowe said that Bradley Beal has not formally requested a trade yet. So that's just something, and we've been hearing that for a while. I just think he's a stand-up guy, and I don't think he's just going to come out and say, give me a trade, No,
I don't think so neither.
And John Wall was the same way. Even up until he was traded, he was not like, hey, trade me. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, there was something. There was something. I cannot remember what happened, but I think there was this kind of. I feel like Tommy Shepard or somebody got in the way of. And he came out and said, "There's no trust," and that's when he requested the trade. So something happened for him because he was ready to come back and play, but I guess it was this being impatient with him of okay, is he ready to play?
From what I remember, is John Wall was ready to come back and play because he was off like 2 years, and then all of a sudden. Comes out like news networks are saying John Wall's on the like he's on the table to be traded, da kind of thing, and that caught John Wall off balance. Like he was like, "Whoa, what the hell? No one ever told me about this." You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. And even then, I still don't think he requested a trade. It was just like they kind of told him, and the team didn't even tell him. He found that out on the news, kind of shit, But for so I'm sorry, I digress. Bradley Beal. So this whole trade thing, it's very interesting. To me, I'm a fan of trades. I really am. When a player gets on their last deal and you and that player are like, we're not fitting to sign nothing between to keep us in this marriage any longer, trade. Like,
for sure.
Like that's how team, like to me, this is how teams stay and become good. They become and stay good. And so you get your best asset, and if he doesn't want to be here, okay, cool, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? You got to think of the future. You can't sit there and be like, well, he's our centerpiece for next season and he'll be really good for next season. Maybe if we get one or two pieces more and then this season it might be it. No, you're thinking totally incorrectly. You need to think about the future. You need to be like, hey, he's going to leave anyway.
Yeah.
what can I get for him? You know what I'm saying? And I don't know NBA like this, but I don't think they have compensatory picks in the NBA, right?
No, they don't.
Yeah. So yeah, definitely, this is more reason on his last year. This is the more reason to trade this man. And I mean, I love Bradley Beal. I mean, like honestly, this is as homegrown as you can get. Like this player has been here, what, 7 years, bro?
7.
Like, yeah, man.
7 years.
Like
Yep.
this is like that. That's I love that in a player. You know what I'm saying? And he's always been a stand up guy. And but just to me, if it's leaning that he doesn't want to be here, we need to go ahead and trade him, get as much as we can, get as much draft capital as we can. And honestly, maybe that'll be the next step into us becoming a legitimate team.
How do you do that? How do you do that? What the hell is going on?
Do you have an idea where Bradley Beal could be traded?
I like Golden State, man. To me, and that's some of the stuff I was reading. Golden State is what they have 2 first rounders.
Yeah, the 7th and the 14th pick.
They have 7 and 14, and they have 2 young players too. And honestly, 2 young players that we kind of aren't shining in ourselves. So they have Wiseman and Wiggins.
Yeah.
And those
Wiggins, I feel like they can keep. I feel like they'll like. Well, no, I take that back. They could probably. They'll probably move on. They can move on from him too.
No, so to me, and just from what I'm, and they were even talking about a player named Poole. I'm not too familiar with him, but there was this cat named Poole that they got that they would throw up in the trade. But to me,
oh yeah, okay, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Okay, but to me, Wiseman and Wiggins, and then that's not even including if we trade Westbrook. You know what I'm saying? So
I heard that he could be potentially traded to Los Angeles. So
yeah, I heard Los Angeles was talking about a Bobby Hield. Yeah,
Buddy Hield.
So Wiggins is number 1 overall. Wiseman number 2 overall, and then the number 7 pick, number 14 pick, and then they're talking about 2 more first round picks on top of that, like in 23 and 25.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So right there, that's potentially 6
first-round
players,
picks.
6 first-round players, at least 4 high first-round picks. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's true.
And then the Wizards still have their 16 overall, 15.
They're drafting 15th.
15 overall. They still have 15 overall too. So that's 3 in a deep class apparently too. So
yeah, it's supposed to be the deepest class.
Yeah. So 3 players in a deep class, bro. Like that's like you. How do you not do that? Like you get what I'm saying? If you're getting the 7 and 14th and 2 high first rounders from previous drafts that are still growing,
yeah.
How do you not do that?
I don't know. I don't know. At this point, like I'm just with the Wizards. Like last year, I mean, even with Scott Brooks, no longer at the helm of Wes Unseld. Like I think the question has been answered. As when Scott Brooks was here for the 5 years as a head coach, they hadn't gotten better as a team. I thought some of the decision making or Ernie Grunfeld was piss poor. I felt like that year when they lost to Atlanta in the conference semifinals, I felt like that was it. Honestly, Paul Pierce hitting that. Paul Pierce is as great as he was that season. We didn't build on that. I'm sorry. That's when Randy Whitman was here, but with Brooks, they weren't going anywhere. And last year, like people kind of even that was a great run they had. I mean, I understand that COVID and injuries played a role. Thomas Bryant wasn't there, and then they lost the knee, the small forward we got from Israel. He was out, but we lost to Philadelphia in the first round. Like that was bound to happen.
Smoked by Philadelphia.
That was bound to happen. And everyone like if like to me, some people were sitting there going like, "Oh, this team will come back next year." This team at best, if it stays the same, is a first round exit. If not, they'll miss the playoffs by at least 5-6 games. So I think at this point, with the hiring of Wes Unseld, I think it's clear we're just going in a different direction. I would like to see Westbrook traded. Bradley Beal, no matter what happens, I understand it. I don't want to see him waste his prime here. But I'm not sure if I told you this. I've said this on the record. I'm not a fan of these guys joining super teams. Just riding the bus and not being the bus driver. I don't like that. But you do what you got to do. The Wizards, they got to build. I give them at least 3 years to be ready to compete.
To me, if you listen to Washington Football Weekly and everything like that, I'm a big cap person. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you can fit it under the cap, why not do it? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you get what I'm saying? If you don't want to have a super team, have a lower cap where you can't have a super team.
Well, the Brooklyn Nets are going to have to realize that because you got to pay Kyrie, Durant, Harden money, and your cap their situation is going to be really thin. They got to figure out who they're going to pick and choose. Like Milwaukee, like they've got to pay the luxury tax because of Drew Holiday's contract. So,
well, the thing about it too is when you put all your money into 3 big people, that means there's not enough money. That means the quality of players for the rest of your 9 other players are jack. So that when you have an injury, i.e., Brooklyn Nets, then you're asked out in the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? So there's a risk of having a super team. So you can have a super team all you want and everything like that. But if they broke, then you have no one like that margin of talent between the two, the star player that you're paying $40 million a year to the one you're paying veteran minimum is not even remotely close.
But I mean, the thing though, if we did consider that trade to Golden State, here's the thing: Klay Thompson's coming off an injury,
right?
Steph Curry, they're not getting any younger. Their window on that, at some point, Golden State has to think about the future, past the Splash Brothers and Draymond. I get they still have that, they feel like they can compete, but when the Splash Brothers are not the Splash Brothers anymore, who are you falling back on?
I don't think they're. When you make a big splash like this, you're not thinking future. You're thinking now. Just right. So Brooklyn is the same way, and just so if they make this trade for Bradley Beal, if Golden State makes this trade for Bradley Beal, they're not thinking future. I.e., why? If you're thinking future, why are you trading 4 first-round picks away
for one guy?
For one
guy, trying to win now.
And if you're trying to think of the future, this guy only has 1 more year on his contract, so that means it's only now. So no one's thinking when they make these super teams, they're not thinking about the future. They're thinking about now, getting a championship now.
Right, and I totally get it. But my thing with Golden State, they're kind of the West. Let's call it what it is. The West could be. I don't know what the West will look like fully healthy. LA, I know they got some drama with Dennis Schroeder and Kyle Kuzma. The Los Angeles Clippers didn't have Kawhi, so you're going to get a healthy Kawhi back next year alongside PG. Dallas is coming. Memphis, don't sleep on the Memphis Grizzlies. The Utah Jazz, Denver, Phoenix, Like Golden State, like I'm not taking anything away from that, but the West healthy is no joke.
Well, I'm don't quote me on this, but I'm not sure Kawhi's going right back to LA. He might have a player option
He
or
does have that's right. He does have
free
a player
agent.
option. That's right.
Okay, so he might not go back to LA. So that's depending on that. But other than that, what you're saying, like you're right. But again, this goes back to what I'm trying to like what I've been saying. These teams aren't thinking future; they're thinking
Right.
now. You know what I'm saying? They have a 1-2 year plan as opposed to a 5-10 year plan.
Good
You
point.
get what I'm saying? So it's like, and every team is different. You know, like and I can't say that they're wrong for trying to do it like that. They're trying to get the players that they have that are in prime, and they're trying to do it then, like make it special right now. And that's not necessarily wrong. It's just you get what I'm saying? It's just not like to everybody else. It's like to me, I'd be like, I want a special team for years to come. I want a dynasty. I want a New England Patriots type team. But these, like in the NBA, I don't think you can so much do that.
There's not a lot of wiggle room in the NBA. Like I'd say easily your dynasties, realistically speaking, I'd say it's 5-6 years easily.
Exactly.
Because unfortunately, free agency is the death of dynasties. I no disrespect to Kurt Flood, former Major League Baseball player back in the day, but that ruling unfortunately was the undoing of dynasties. Because like the Milwaukee Bucks got to think about, like for example, Bobby Portis. I know Bobby Portis going to look for some money. Jeff Green, he may be a cheaper option than Bobby Portis, but we'll see what it looks like. But like I also just to point this out, like the Oklahoma City Thunder Abs, they have 36 total draft picks over 7 years, 18 in the first and 18 in the second. Oh God. I really would like to know what their plan is. Sam Presti must have a plan.
They did it right, man. Like to me, that is doing it right. You know what I'm saying? Like what I don't even know what. So they traded. They probably got a few from us. They I don't even know how they got all the other ones, but to me, that's doing it right. Like you know what I'm saying? These players that don't want to be here, so we can't think of right now. So let's think about the future. And what they can do with these picks is trade them for higher picks. You know what I'm saying? Like that's like we're thinking about it. Or like, no way you can sit here and actually pick all of these 18 picks. What you do is you trade for higher picks. Like, you know what I'm saying? And
I would like to see what they're going to do with Kemba. Because I'm looking at their roster right now, and
I heard they're looking to trade his ass too.
Yeah, at this point, I feel like they are. So, well, like, I mean, like I said, wherever Bradley Beal goes, I'm happy for him. As well deserved. He was a great player here, so I can't take that away from him. I just want the Wizards to be in a position of rebuild and not be like Cleveland, where they set JB Bickerstaff up to fail, which is a whole other story for the other day. Like, I'm not going to get on that soapbox. But while I have you here, Abs, we're going to transition into the NFL. I'm going to bring in another special guest, Nick Rosario Jr., another member of Let's Talk Football. Nick?
Is he asleep?
Looks like it. Hold on. He fell asleep. Okay. 1 second, ladies and gentlemen. Nick.
Hey.
Bro.
Yeah, it was,
You all right? I know,
Yeah,
ladies and
man.
gentlemen, it's late.
I got all kind of stuff happening over here, man. You wouldn't believe it. The neighborhood's on fire. Watching my White Sox beat the Brewers over here, it's good stuff.
Okay. We didn't have you on camera, by the way.
If you did, you did. I'm sorry, my brother. I'm here now. Let's go.
What's going on? So we're gonna transition into the NFL.
Which is not for long when you make calls like that. No, I'm kidding.
I want to start with Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers fiasco. So Aaron Rodgers recently turned down a 2-year extension. And then Devontae Adams and the Green Bay Packers broke down in contract negotiations. So that pretty much also tells me that Devontae wants out of Green Bay, possibly. I don't know what that could mean. Who wants to have the first crack? Because y'all don't want to hear what I got to say.
Oh, we don't? Oh, sure we do.
Well, you do, but I want to hear what y'all want to say first.
Ab, you want to take this one, or you want me to go ahead and blow
You go ahead, bro. I'll rebuttal.
Thanks. No, but all right, like as I spoke on our particular show, Let's Talk Football, the roundtable last week. Yes, there's a little fault that you can spread out here on both sides as to how it was handled, in terms of early on. The team could have done more to just say, hey, Aaron, this is what we're thinking. We're going to draft a quarterback. Much the same way when, we had Don Majkowski, we traded for Brett Favre, and much the way we got you when we had Brett Favre, we got you. This is something Green Bay has done over their history. It's not something that came out totally out of left field. And Mr. Rodgers and his neighborhood decided to overreact, I think, a bit. Again, I understand you felt disrespected by the team. Fine. But now you held them it's almost like you played this whole thing perfectly, right? You go out, have this great MVP season so that everybody's hyped out, Aaron Rodgers, blah, 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 blah. Then you proceed to do what you've done the 3 previous times that you've been in the NFC Championship game, and that is not win. Huh?
Laid an egg.
I mean, laying an egg is not – bro, laying an egg is one thing. That's, you got to look at it this way.
Underperform as a team.
Well, fine, but the point is who gets the glory and who gets all the blame? The quarterback. That's the position, my friend. And it's Aaron Rodgers. This isn't, insert, second string quarterback, whoever into the scenario. This is Aaron Rodgers. This is the guy who's supposed to give you, and he has given. I'm like, again, I never doubted Rodgers' talent or anything, but as far as what he has been like during all this, it's just incredible to me. Like, you're 0-4 since 2011 when you actually won the NFC Championship game by beating the Bears 21-14 to go to the Super Bowl, and you won that Super Bowl. You are now 0-4 since then. 10 years, you're 0-4 in NFC Championship games. Yeah, I mean, I think the team went, hey, wait a minute, maybe we do need to insure ourselves a little bit, and let's get somebody in here in case Aaron is towards the end of his career. But what did Aaron do?
Rodgers.
Now I'm going to hold you up.
Are we really blaming Aaron Rodgers?
Hold on.
This 0-4?
Well, you got to put some blame on it. What, was he not playing in these games? Come on, bro. Don't sit there and absolve him totally and be like, he had nothing to do with these 4 losses. Yes, I know it's a team game, but you can't tell me that you can play lights out during the season and all this other stuff, but you can't lead your team to win 1 out of 4, just 1 out of 4 times in the last 10 years in a championship game.
That is the most. So I'm gonna say this, and then you can continue on your rant. Win-loss record for quarterbacks is a total bullshit stat.
It may be
have on a quarterback because they don't play defense, they don't kick field goals, they don't do this. Honestly, it goes like Aaron Rodgers played a better game than Tom Brady.
Yes, statistically, yes, he did.
And we're literally saying Aaron Rodgers didn't play a good game because he didn't win. What kind of shit is that?
Well, he had opportunities to help his team win, and he didn't take them. But it's not just about that. Again, I know win-loss records can be considered BS, but the fact is, bro, why do they pay him that money? Why do they pay big quarterbacks that kind of money? They pay them to win. You can dress it up in any fancy dress you want to and not put any blame on him at all. But the fact of the matter is, he's the leader of the team, bro. The quarterback
It's
is the
not
most
even
important.
about. It's not even
But I'm
about.
saying though, the quarterback is the
not
most
even about
important position in
absolving
football.
him of any responsibility. It's about people sitting here focusing on 0-4, and just because he was the quarterback of these teams since then, that's it makes no sense to sit there and put it all on Aaron Rodgers when obviously the whole reason for his whole stink is because they don't put a sufficient amount of players on the field for him to do better when the time comes.
And Tom Brady has played with all-stars his entire career? I don't think so, Ab. Who's the best player that Aaron Rodgers? Hold on, Nathan. Hold on. Ab brought it up, so let's bring it up. Let's talk about it. The quarterback is supposed to be the most important position in football. And why is Tom Brady considered the greatest of all time? It's not just, and yet part of it is the win-loss record. But let's be honest, man, he wins in big situations. And this guy has not played with all-stars. Randy Moss is probably the best receiver he's ever played with. And this guy won 7 Super Bowls. Well, 6 Super Bowls because the Patriots never really had an A1 receiver, again, outside of Moss. And this guy still managed to win 6 titles. Yes, it's a team game. Yes, I get all that. But that's the whole point, man. The quarterback is the position.
So
you're going to take the blame when your team loses.
Besides Randy Moss, Wes Welker, Troy Brown, Deion Branch.
Okay, are those guys Hall of Fame receivers? Are they number ones on other teams?
Rob Gronkowski.
Fine, you had a tight end. I understand that. Gronkowski was his boy. But I'm just saying, man, this guy did not win with all kinds of great talent around him. He had some good defenses. He had some decent receivers. But that's the whole point, man. A good quarterback or a good player or a good leader will bring everybody else up. And you know that. You play team sports.
Name one quarterback, which is the GOAT, and then compare it to Aaron Rodgers. Like,
well,
even though Aaron Rodgers is pretty much up there.
Exactly.
Pretty much up there.
But is he now? He can't win the big one, bro. I'm saying, yes, as a regular season.
Are you kidding me? Because he doesn't have enough Super Bowl rings?
No, I'm just saying he hasn't even gotten to the game but once, bro. I'm just saying. This is what you pay. This is what you pay a quarterback for, is to get you to that next level, bro. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, Nick. Okay, Nick, I understand your point, but let me put it to you like this. Let me give you an example. Okay, just stay with me. The Baltimore Ravens gave Joe Flacco $120 million after they won the Super Bowl.
That's their fault.
Name me outside of Steve Smith Sr. and Torrey Smith wide receivers that he had to work with, and on top of that, the money he got, they were mediocre. The year that Lamar Jackson came as a starter, they were dead in the water. I have been on the record. I have said it. Quarterbacks should not get paid $100 million plus. Why? Because your team lacks in other ways. He didn't make. Unfortunately, Ozzie Smith drafted.
That's a whole other issue, Nate. You're right. They shouldn't get paid that, but they do.
Sometimes quarterbacks get paid because that's the market.
Right.
Don't sit there and say, don't say they're the like a quarterback can't do everything.
I understand that.
But so you can just sit there and have them have all the responsibility.
They take a big brunt of it, don't they, when they win or lose? Either way,
yes.
It's the best.
You bring up a good point.
I mean, but I'm saying, but don't dismiss that. You keep saying I'm bringing up a good point, but then you try to jerk me around when to make that point. You're like, well, that doesn't matter. It's not just on him. But that's why they pay those guys. That's the whole point.
I understand that, Nick. I understand
that. The most popular position in football for a reason, guys.
I understand.
You're paid to win.
Stay with me, Nick. Stay with me.
I am. Go ahead.
Quarterbacks, any star, it doesn't matter if it's basketball, football, baseball, they're going to get all the praise and all the glory.
Exactly.
And unfortunately, Aaron Rodgers is the face of that franchise.
Yes,
let's call it what it is. Aaron Rodgers had a great game in that championship. But last time I checked also, too, the defense didn't play that great. Kevin King was getting burnt like toast. We heard that he and what's the head coach's name? Matt LaFleur at one point weren't getting along. But, he threw the ball to Matt. That last possession, Green Bay, for the kick the field goal, he threw the ball to Devontae Adams 3 times, and guys weren't catching the ball. Unfortunately, they're going to look at Aaron Rodgers. And I've said this on numerous videos. The media is going to go to town with it, up and down Aaron Rodgers. So I just feel like, let me ask this question, right? Because we're talking about the guys that Aaron Rodgers has never, he doesn't have guys to work with. Besides Devontae Adams, y'all don't think Alan Lazard or a Devontae Scatling. Let me look at this roster.
No, I actually argue that those guys aren't horrible, that those guys actually are pretty decent receivers. And he's had Randall Cobb in the past and a few other guys. But say that again. Sorry.
They are threes at best.
Okay, and that's fine. But my point is he acted like the team did absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. And I get that my point is he got mad because they drafted Jordan Love. I think we can all agree on that.
Yes.
His big point was, well, you didn't draft anything to help me. There were receivers on that field. You had running backs on that field. You had Aaron Jones. You had the one kid from Boston College that they drafted. Like, you had weapons. Maybe they weren't the best weapons that you wanted. Dillon. Thank you. Sorry. I always forget that kid's name, and I don't know why. But my point is he made it seem like they did absolutely zero to help him. No, I'm sorry. I understand that Aaron Rodgers is a great quarterback. I've never dismissed that. But if you're going to tell me that you can't take the talent that's put on the field with you, as good a quarterback as you're supposed to be, and work with it and make it work for you, that's what the great ones do. And you even admitted it. He's considered up there. He is considered one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. And that's what I'm talking about. You got to be able to perform. You have to be able to win.
So he's not the one. He's not the one performing. Is that what you're saying?
I'm just saying.
No, you're not. You're not. Answer my question. Is he not the one performing?
Not at the level he probably should be in the champ. I'm saying in games.
I don't know what this conversation is about if you're really doubting that Aaron Rodgers is not performing to the standard, at least to the point of where his contract is at, to one of the top 5 quarterbacks.
I just said, bro, regular season, he's phenomenal. He hasn't been great when it counts. Why is that so horrible to say, though? He's the face. He's the man there. So why is that?
I just told you he was a better quarterback than Tom Brady. And so when he's a better quarterback than Tom Brady, then that means there was other facets of the game that was actually took part in. Like, think about it like this. If the running game was on par of what should have been done in the NFC Championship, would Aaron Rodgers have to have about 40 attempts? Would he have to do that much?
No.
Maybe not. No.
So is that Aaron Rodgers?
But you could break down any game like that. Ab, come on.
Trying to see my point.
No, I do see your point.
Why am I arguing if you're not even trying to see my point?
No, I am trying to see
my point right now. If he 40 attempts, no quarterback should have to have 40 attempts in the NFC Championship with a number 1 running back. And I'm gonna say this: top 5 running back in the league.
Okay. That's
he should not have to do
because the running back can't have a bad game either.
See,
what is this
argument? What is this point of this argument?
Now you want to break down every individual performance. I know, I got it, but now you're trying to break down everything like we shouldn't have to. Well, you're right. Maybe he shouldn't have to, but he did. Well, because the running game wasn't working.
Lamar Jackson in the divisional game against the Titans threw 60 passes. And didn't have guys were dropping passes. No quarterback. Great point. No quarterback should throw 60 passes in the game. And I don't want to hear, well, Lamar Jackson have a bad game. Lamar Jackson threw over 300 yards. That defense against Derrick Henry was horrible. I mean, Derrick Henry made Earl Thomas look like a rag doll. So I get where Ab's coming from. Nick, I understand your point about when it counts. Aaron Rodgers has to be that Michael Jordan. He has to be
that's all I'm saying, guys. He's paid that way. That's the whole point.
But it also, too, Nick, but I get your point, Nick. But also, too, the others have to step up.
No one says they don't, but we even all agree. The quarterback is the position in football. You're going to take the blame and you're going to get the glory.
I agree with that.
So that's all I'm saying, man. Like, he made it seem like he was so disrespected and he was so treated so unfairly by the team that he had to do what he did.
Can I ask you this?
You can ask me whatever you like, sir.
So Patrick Mahomes had a shit game for the Super Bowl, right?
He did.
What did his team do?
in sense
In
of
the off
what?
season. In the off season, after he lost the Super Bowl, what did his team do?
They addressed the needs.
Addressed the needs, right?
Sure, okay. They got some lineup.
So-
Yes, okay.
So when Aaron
Well,
Rodgers
Frank
is
Clark may
saying
not play because he might go to jail.
what?
Well,
Frank Clark may not play this year
well,
because he might go to jail.
that's one aspect. Come on, Nate. Yeah, I know. That's one aspect. Go ahead.
I'm sorry.
Finish
Go
your
ahead,
point. Sorry, go ahead.
They literally addressed the offensive line because that
Okay.
if everyone watched the Super Bowl, easily that was the hiccup
Yeah,
in Kansas City.
for sure.
So that's all Aaron Rodgers is asking for. And is that too much? Hell no, it's not too much.
not.
It's like it literally he's saying address the offensive line, give me some better choices. Don't wait until the 7th round
To give me the help that I
draft
need.
a wide receiver. That's
fair.
literally what he's and like to me, if you're on the same page with your team, and you're like, and the team is like, you're our guy, Aaron. This is what we're going to do. Like, it's too easy. You're not going to sit there and drafts, like, majority of your draft be defensive players. It's not.
But also, I look at it like this as well. That's why I've been on the record. If you guys have followed me, you got to hold front offices accountable. That GM, I know that they talk. He doesn't like that GM.
He doesn't.
I mean, like, to let his All Pro Bowl center walk, that's ridiculous. And then, like, it to me, it looks like Aaron, go out, shut up, and play football. Don't tell us how to do our job.
That's exactly what it is.
And I don't think that's a good. I don't think that's a great look. But my thing is this, Nick. I understand what you're saying. I look at like Aaron Rodgers has to handle it better. Like the way he's coming out about it, it looks like a bag of sour grapes. Because unfortunately, let me just say this: when it was Brett Favre, we were all on his ass about, wow, he prima donna. 1 year he could be gone. I understand the whole he couldn't make up his mind. Protect my legacy and all this other stuff because they drafted Aaron Rodgers as his replacement.
Mm-hmm.
I get that. Here's Aaron Rodgers. We're giving him this sympathy card. Like, Aaron, we feel really bad for you. When in reality, no. Call these guys up. Say, go to ownership. Listen, if you're not going to fire him, I'm not coming back. And plain and simple. And that's how he should handle it. But if Aaron Rodgers, fellas, if he decides he wants out, Abs, you okay?
Yeah, I'm straight, man.
Okay. If you're Aaron Rodgers, do you just feel like it's just no longer it's fixable in Green Bay? What do you do if you're Aaron Rodgers? I'll start with you, Abs.
Repeat the question again. I'm sorry, I missed it.
If you're Aaron Rodgers and you feel like at this point, do you feel like you could go to ownership and demand this is what I need? Either he goes, I go. Do you try to make it work, or do you just say I'm out of Green Bay?
So any relationship, if you feel like your voice isn't heard, you're gonna try. You're gonna try. You're gonna try. And I think we all can. And honestly, if you don't think 17 years of trying, 17 years of this isn't trying, I don't even want to talk to you, because 17 years is a long time to be dedicated to anybody. So to me, 17 years of trying to communicate, to verbalize and say what you need, what you want, and it's still not being heard. Honestly, you gotta leave, man. You gotta leave. So I mean, this to me, it's like any. If this was your homeboy, or homegirl, and basically they're telling you what they've tried to say to their other person, to their significant other, and they just try to come across and say, hey, I've been trying to tell them, but they're not listening. They don't want to listen. You're going to give them that advice saying you need to leave them.
Good point. That's a good point, Ants. Nick, what would you do, sir?
Well, I would like to, and again, I'm not saying that's wrong, But so you're again only going by what you just said. So you really think he's been disgruntled for 17 years that he's been there? I mean, honestly, do you believe that?
Maybe not the full 17.
I mean, the
I
last
don't
couple
know.
I could see.
Let me say this. Maybe because he was probably disgruntled the 3 years of limbo he was with Aaron Brett Favre.
Right.
So then after that, he's got this chip on his shoulder. So everything after that, and then there's Mike McCarthy, and then Mike McCarthy, he got his ass fired. So
Right.
and then
good point.
You get what I'm saying? Like, to me, 17, like, yeah, I can see it. I can see it.
That's why I asked you, because I'm thinking to myself, and just what you said, if that, he got McCarthy fired in that sense. No, I know I'm saying in that sense, then obviously he only butted heads when Buttigieg, whatever his name is, took over. Because then there was a thing where Aaron wasn't treated as the king anymore.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like Buttigieg had a different, and this is what I said. I did say this on the other side. I said, hey, they could have handled it better in that regard. It could have went to Aaron and said, hey, look, man, this is what we're thinking. You're the man on this team. You are our leader. This is what we're thinking of doing. Because you know what? It is a business. Free agency did have a hand in ruining football. And it's treated like a business, whether you like that or not. That's truth. And so they're going to do what Green Bay has always done. They've done it a couple of times before Aaron. If anything, he should have seen this coming. Not to be funny, but you should have known that at some point they were going to draft your replacement.
He turns 38 this year.
Right, I'm saying. And so again, they did this twice before.
Well, can I ask this question?
Sure.
Were the New Orleans Saints prepared for Drew Brees to retire? This is a question for both of y'all.
Well, I'm sure at some point they knew that was coming, especially in the last couple of years with the injuries and stuff. They had to have had an inkling that Drew might retire.
Hell
Don't
no,
you
they
think?
weren't prepared for it.
I mean, prepared. I'm just saying. I think they had to have had an idea, though.
No,
that could happen.
Their cap space wouldn't have been in some shit if they were prepared for it. Like, that's real. It wouldn't have been in some asshole. Like it wouldn't have been like that if they were prepared for free agency. You know what I'm saying? Prepared for his retirement.
And then on top of it, they gave Taysom Hill. That contract doesn't make sense. So it's a non-guaranteed. Is that how I'm understanding it?
It actually makes sense, man. It's like if he plays well,
then you pay him.
You're going to keep him,
right?
But if you're some dog shit, you're out of here. Yeah. And literally, I forget how it was lined out, but pretty much it comes out to year to year, pretty much. But has him signed for 4.
And he's listed number 1 on the depth chart. Actually, Jameis is second.
It's famous Jameis, baby, and I guarantee.
Here we go.
The best Charles Barkley impression. Jameis Winston's going to have a Pro Bowl year.
Okay.
Guarantee it. Book it.
I called it too.
All right. Well, we shall see, boys.
I called it too. I called it weeks ago, by the way.
Yeah, he did.
Okay.
He did.
Okay. We'll wait and see on that one. Sure.
And also, too, I also want to point this out. It was ironic that Devontae Adams and A-Rod posted a picture of Scottie Pippen and Michael Jordan, The Last Dance, simultaneously. So,
it's not. You said it's ironic.
It's not ironic. I just feel like at this point.
Say it was that, but it's fine.
I'm sorry. Well,
it's all right. I get it. I know what you were going for.
Coincidence is a coincidence. Okay. What does that mean to you guys?
I think Devontae doesn't want to be there neither.
Well, not without Aaron Rodgers, he doesn't, right?
Exactly. I think and unfortunately, go ahead, Alex. Go ahead, Alex.
No, I was going to say that I think it's that they are a united front against Green Bay Packers, and literally they just they're saying they're not going to take their bull ass anymore. You know what I'm saying? So
good point. But but fellas, we can agree on this. But can we agree that out of all of this fiasco, Jordan Love is going to come into a situation where they're looking to him and going, "You are the guy," and now you're putting him. What has he got to work with once Devontae Adams leaves?
Oh, he's in a bad situation.
He's in a bad situation.
He's in a bad situation. But honestly, when they have no more than Lazard and what's the other guy's name?
Valdez, Scantling, and
yeah. When it's only as their top 2 wide receivers, Aaron Rodgers is going to sit there and be like, "I told you so. I told you so." Like, he's literally going to just do that because.
But is that fair with a rookie quarterback to say that? I get your point. I get what you're saying. I'm not arguing that. But I'm saying, is that real? I mean, I get Aaron saying that because it'll be like, "I told you I was right." But my point is that fair to do with the kid who hasn't taken a damn snap in a regular season?
It's absolutely fair. It's absolutely fair.
Okay, then the criticism of Aaron Rodgers is fair.
I don't understand your lining between how are you connecting these things, man? I don't see it. All I'm trying to tell you is if Jordan fails and those 2 wide receivers fail, Aaron Rodgers is going to be completely justified in his criticism saying, "I needed better," and they didn't do it. That's what I'm trying to say.
Good point.
Okay, but he also had an MVP season with these guys. He didn't only throw the ball to Devontae Adams, did he? No, I'm just saying. I mean, you guys watch Green Bay games. He didn't just throw to him.
No, he didn't.
He made it work with these guys. They went 12-4 this year. What was Green Bay's record?
Now think about he had an MVP season with these guys. Now think about all the passes that they dropped, the touchdown passes that they dropped.
Well, sure, and Devontae did some himself.
I remember Lazard was wide open on it, and he just dropped it. It was all in his hands. But I guess that was Aaron's fault too, right?
Hey, I'm just saying,
too perfect of a ball.
Those things happen, right?
Perfect of a ball, right?
Maybe, sometimes you got to throw it wobbly so they can catch it right. That happens.
Well, I'm gonna close out this topic because we gotta get on to the next subject. Let me just say this, and I said this earlier, and Sean Spencer and I kind of had a disagreement with this. If you look at the talent that Lamar Jackson had to work with last year, the year before, I didn't hear Lamar Jackson complain. Aaron Rodgers has, to me, he's been in this league. He's got to speak up. He's got to let ownership know. Listen, I have been the face of your franchise for 17 years. I need help. If you ain't gonna give me the help, I'm out.
Can I say something real quick?
Yes, sir.
I think Lamar Jackson has the ability to be a phenomenal quarterback, but I don't think he's Aaron Rodgers' quarterback, though.
Oh, I'm not saying Aaron Rodgers. I'm talking.
No. But that's what you're trying to. That's the comparison you're making. Is saying Lamar's not complaining, so why is Aaron? And my whole thing is Aaron's like, to me, I think there's maybe 3 or 4 quarterbacks in the league where you can literally say that literally can go to management and be like, I need this, this, and this, and this to be competitive. There's only maybe 3 or 4 quarterbacks in the league that can do that. Lamar Jackson's not one of them.
That's
and
fair.
maybe later he can be that, you know what I'm saying? But
I think down the road.
But to once you get a certain amount of like street cred, then that's when you're like, I should be able to have a say in what is going on to help this team. You guys trust me to be you guys trust me and pay me to be this quarterback. So why isn't what I say matter to you? Like, what to make this team better, to make this offense better?
That's a good point. Good point. Ladies and gentlemen, we got to move on to the next subject. Wow, the thing's on fire. Excuse me, I'm just kidding. That was a really great conversation, fellas. Really good job. I like that. We're going to transition and we're going to give updates. Nick Rosario is obviously with the Bears, and then Abs. I follow the Ravens and the Washington football team. I try to be consistent with both. I've been following the Washington football team quietly this offseason. Abs, you want to go first? What do you feel like is going on within Washington football's camp? Who do you like? Any storylines you see potentially?
So this is gonna be real quick and short. Like to me, I don't think you can really say much until training camp. Like Washington football team, excuse me, there's no news about anybody opening up on the pup list. So, but that doesn't mean it's not going to happen. I could see Landon Collins being on the pup list because
Ooh,
it's not even with it's not hasn't been a year since his ACL
Yeah,
and
injury.
torn ACL, so I can see him opening up on the pup list. And it's just like to me, I think I'm most excited about roster bubbles. Like to me, that's where I'm really excited about. Like roster bubble. You guys get what I mean by roster bubbles, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
guys who could make the team or could not make the team. Basically,
There you go.
right? Yeah.
Yes. So to me, the biggest battles are in wide receivers and offensive line. And then I've brought it up on my show too, is that defensive end 2 and 3. Like so we all know that Chase Young and Montez Sweat are pretty much our dominant
Yeah.
defensive ends.
Those are the
But
guys.
But after that, we have nobody. We have 7th rounders. We have
Jonathan Allen.
undrafted free agents. What's up?
Jonathan Allen.
He's not a defensive end.
Oh, defensive end. I'm sorry. I apologize.
No, you're good. You're good. So those are our two like our two studs. But after that, and this was going to the conversation when we were talking about in basketball, the level of talent is literally just so far from each other. So, and I tell you guys, like that's what worries me. And to me, I think just like you've said it about your team, the Baltimore Ravens, they need to draft another defense or not draft. I'm sorry, they need to sign a free agent defensive end. And I've been saying this for weeks. They need to draft a defensive end. We don't have Ryan Kerrigan anymore. So we don't have that backup anymore. So to me, I don't think there's an amount of stepping up that these guys can do in order to fill the shoes of Ryan Kerrigan.
I thought Melvin Ingram would have been a nice adjustment.
Who?
But Melvin Ingram.
Oh,
he could play the end, but he's more like a linebacker.
He signed with the Steelers, yeah.
So he's
out. Yeah, so I mean, it's Justin Houston's out there, you know what I'm saying? Like it's like those are just the like you know what I'm saying, the names that everybody knows. But to me, that it worries me. We're one injury away from being a 15th, 16th ranked defense.
Let me ask you a question. So if that's the case, do you see Washington going in a 3-4?
No, we're staying 4-3. Yeah, we're staying 4-3.
I was asking because you said the talent after Chase Young and Sweat is not is the levels is not. And
defense wasn't my particular, but I think 3, like if you just like you said 3-4, it leaves the flexibility of having a 4-3. So like I get what you're saying, but we're a 4-3 defense, and I think that's what we're sticking with.
I see Everson Griffin. He's a free agent. Who else? Trent Murphy. But these guys are kind of like 30. Like maybe just veteran guys at that.
Yeah, we had Trent Murphy. We drafted Trent Murphy.
Trent Murphy, that's right. We did. Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm like, it's just something to see if these 7th rounders can step up. That's the real battle for me, to tell you the truth. But wide receiver, that's very interesting also. So
I know you guys have talked on. I didn't mean to cut you off. I apologize. Finish it. Go ahead. Finish.
No, just wide receiver is very competitive. I think we're only keeping 6 wide receivers. So, like to me, I have my view. I don't think so. I'm calling it right now. I called it on my show. Adam
Yes, you did.
Humphries is not making the team, so I'm throwing that out there. I think the Diami Brown. I butchered his name. Diami Brown.
It's okay.
Brown, McLaurin, and Samuels. All three of them could play slot if need be. So why do we need Humphries?
Good point.
That's a fair point, right?
So why do we need Humphries? And that also means that Steve Sims is not going to be kept on the team. He was our surprise slot receiver about 2 years ago.
Well, yeah,
so he's going to miss out. So to me, so we got those three, and to me, I think we just need some big men now. So Kelvin Harmon and Antonio Gandy Golden, and that's five right there. And then the sixth one, we drafted a 7th rounder receiver, Milne. He was what's his name? BYU quarterback drafted number 2.
Zach Wilson.
Zach Wilson. That he was his go-to guy. I think he might slide and make the team and what's his name slot and Adam Humphries slot.
Okay.
I got one other question because I kind of already have an idea what the offensive line is going to look like. Who do you think? Do you think Sammy Reyes will make the team?
I don't. I think he's going to be. I think we're only keeping 3 tight ends. Okay. I think Reyes is just going to miss it, and he's going to be signed to our practice squad. Okay. If you haven't played football, this you know what I'm saying, you're not, and you're just learning it in training camp. Nah, bro.
Good point.
There's no. I don't care how gifted you are. I just don't see that happening. You got to get used to these hits. You got to get used to these play calls. You got to get used to these audibles. You know what I'm saying? There's no, I just don't see it. I really don't, man. And to me, we got three obvious tight ends: Logan Thomas, John Bates, and Ricky. I want to call him Ricky Smiley, but it's
I know who you're talking about. I can't think of his name on top of my head either.
Yeah. So I think that those are the 3 tight ends we're going to keep.
And then the last question: who is the 3rd running back? I have Gibson, McKenzie. I have Lamar Miller. That's the 3rd running back.
I actually think it's Patterson. So Jared Patterson, that production in college, I just think that's phenomenal, man. And I think they're excited to see what that happens. And if this dude can catch the ball, we might let go of Jared McKissick, man.
Good point.
We might let go of McKissick. So you know what I'm saying, and then keep Lamar Miller for that veteran presence. You know what I'm saying?
For sure. Let's transition to the Chicago Bears. Mr. Nicholas Rosario Jr. What's going on in Chicagoland, sir?
I think optimism is the big word going into camp, to be honest with you. You know, obviously everybody knows by now that we drafted Justin Fields, and everybody is curious to see when Justin will get handed the ball and all that good stuff. You know, that's the thing. Offense was the big question, of course, when after the season was over, we knew Mitch was going. What were the Bears going to do about their offense? Right. Well, they answered a few questions, didn't they? We did draft a quarterback. We did get some line help. We got some. We did draft another receiver too. We have, which I'm kind of excited about. Like as Ed was talking about, you know, unfortunately to start the year or to start training camp, we do have 2 guys on the PUP list, and that's Tariq Cohen, who had the really serious injury in week 3. Huh?
What happened to Tariq?
He got injured in week 3.
That's right.
He had the huge, right. Yeah. He got injured in week 3, and he's been out the whole. So he's on the PUP list, and so is Daz Newsome, who had broken his collarbone in the OTAs. So he's on the PUP list to start, who was the receiver out of Carolina we drafted, which is Sean Spencer's boy. So he's going to start the season on the PUP. But so that's 2 dings to the offense to start with, I guess. But, obviously we have David Montgomery and Williams we got from Kansas City. So we're going to be fine at the running back position. I like that 2-headed monster there. Tariq, I like Tariq Cohen, but obviously he's more of a catch out of the backfield, gadget play type. He's a smaller guy, so he's not your every down back and that sort of thing. So Tariq will be fine once he comes back, once he gets off the injured list. And again, hopefully Newsome can get ingratiated in the offense. We did trade just today. We did get rid of Anthony Miller. We traded him to the Texans,
Right.
which we knew was going to happen. Unfortunately, Miller just didn't live up. And again, I know people will argue, well, Trubisky was his quarterback, blah, blah, but Miller had other issues. Obviously, he had some issues with his anger because this was a guy who, for whatever reason,
How do you do that? How do you do that? What the hell is going on?
some of the ridiculous things he got into during the season with certain players for no apparent reason, it seemed like. I mean, they seemed very...
Yeah, when he punched, what's his name in his helmet? What? Like,
yeah, he puts the guy in the helmet, right? Why would you do that? That makes no sense. The guy's wearing a helmet. You have nothing on your hand. You're going to punch him in the helmet. But so Anthony Miller is gone. We won't worry about Anthony. Obviously, Allen Robinson is in the last year. We franchise tagged him again. Obviously, an extension has not been done with Allen. But
do you feel like an extension can be done?
Do I think one can be done? Can I be honest? I honestly don't. I think Allen is ready to move on, even if Justin Fields comes out of and is the Messiah that everybody hopes he will be in Chicago. I think Allen is ready to move on, to be honest with you. Like, I mean, he'll play this year, of course, because, again, he was franchise tagged. But I don't think he signs an extension. That's just my personal opinion. I guess I hope I'm wrong. I do like Allen Robinson, and I think maybe with a better quarterback you could see more. But still, I think he's gone. And again, that's something you'll have to live with. It's just one of those things. Hopefully one of these kids who we have, other than that, we have a lot of younger, I'm hoping that the kid who's in his second year, and of course the name is going to escape me right now because I'm trying to think of who he is, but I know who he is. But number 11, I can see the kids, Darnell Mooney. Hopefully he comes out and has a great second year, again, with Robinson there for this year. Again, when Newsome gets back, when he's off the PUP list, we drafted him out of Carolina. We got a few other guys in there. So hopefully the offense will be better. The defense, everybody's happy about the defense, and we're hoping that they just play up to the potential they have. But honestly, they have been abused the last few years in the sense of they've played a lot of downs, a lot of 3-and-outs on our offense. They've played a lot of minutes in games, and I know that's not always an excuse, but, we need guys like Roquan Smith to really just continue to get better. We need Khalil Mack to play up to the potential of what we got rid of to get him.
Shot number 52, baby.
I mean, and then our guy from the Quinn we got from Dallas a year ago, he seemed like he was gone last year. I don't even think they called his number once. So I don't know what he needs to definitely pick his game up. But I think the Bears are going to be okay. I'm not going to, put any unreal expectations and be like, well, that's it. Now we got our quarterback. We're going to go all the way, baby. No.
Do you think Robinson wants to be with a better quarterback? Like,
I mean,
you know what I'm saying? He has all the production of all these like second, third tier quarterbacks. Like, you think like he's just one in his head, just what can I do with a top tier quarterback? You get what I'm saying?
No, I do absolutely think that because, again, we know where Robinson came from. He came from Jacksonville. And then he came here. So, right, if you look at his career, here's a guy who could, kind of cry foul and go, well, you guys, nobody, or certain people don't consider me a number one talent, but look at the quarterbacks I've played with. They haven't exactly helped me either. So, yeah, I think he's definitely, again, talk about a guy who probably has a big chip on his shoulder, knowing going, well, I can play. I know I can play, but you need to give me a quarterback who can get me the ball, I think is his thinking. So that's why I say, even if Justin Fields comes out and has a phenomenal year somehow and all that, I still think it's just, I don't think he wants to wait around for that to happen. You know what I mean? Like, He wants to play. He wants to play for a contender. He wants to show what he can do. He wants a big contract. Let's be honest.
But
He wants
it's
that.
gonna be
As
a
Ab
little
always
tough.
talked, as Ab and I talked about before, but we've had an argument about what a number one receiver is and what number one receiver money is. That's what Allen Robinson wants, but he doesn't have the numbers to kind of support that because mostly because of the quarterbacks that he's played with. So
I'd argue that because I think the league can see that he doesn't have a top tier quarterback throwing to him.
well, you can,
And just like the point that I was making to you is just that what could he actually do if he had a top tier quarterback? And then to me, I think he could get number one money, honestly, arguably top wide receiver money. I actually do think that.
Well, hopefully we'll find out and we'll see if you're right. Well, yeah, but I do think he's gone. I don't think he's with the Bears after this year. I think he's gone.
Let me ask you. Well, I want to make this point and have a question. My only fear with next year's free agency, you're not going to see it. You kind of see. You might. I mean, stay with me. You're going to see with basketball. With football, it's going to be a little tougher because of COVID. Everyone lost money, and with everyone trying to recoup, I feel like the asking price for some guys is going to be a little tough. That's just my opinion. Go ahead.
Well, I'm sure that will certainly affect the market. I don't know to this point. We don't know how much. Go ahead, Ab. What were you going to say?
No, I disagree because this year it affects the money. Next year, it's going to be totally stupid. Brandon Sheriff did not sign his contract because he's anticipating the salary cap to skyrocket north of $200 million. So if every player has that same mentality, it's the COVID has nothing to do with it. COVID affected this year's amount because it dropped from just under 200 to like 185 or something like that.
A lot of teams are in the red because of that.
And so that's why a lot of free agents this year did not want to sign multi-year deals. They're like, look, I'm going to sign 1 year just so I can sign that good. I can be a free agent next year when the salary cap skyrockets about $20 million.
Good point.
You get what I'm saying?
Allen Robinson can get his Kirk Cousins contract then maybe.
And so that's why a lot of people, and that's why you don't see everyone that's like that has a franchise tag signing. It's because they're anticipating that next year's salary cap.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? Everyone's like, oh, so your franchise tag is at 18 million, but next year it would have been like 20 something million if it was a normal
25,
year.
26, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's totally different. That's why, and these teams are thinking that players are dumb like that, and they're like, hell no, I'm not dumb. Like, you're literally going to need to pay me next year's money in order for me to stay with your team.
Good point.
And that's why they're not doing it.
Good point.
Well, like I said, it'll be fun to see that next year when guys sign those big contracts.
I can't wait. Are the Bears? Are they moving? What's the situation? Are they? I heard that they want to move somewhere else.
All right. So here's the big thing with the Arlington Heights racetrack, which is a racetrack out here in Arlington Heights, Illinois, a suburb of Chicago. This is their last year in operation. Now, obviously, it's a racetrack. They operate on a huge plot of land in the middle of unincorporated Arlington Heights. So, yes, when you look at this, you go, oh, my goodness, what the Bears could do with a site like this, build this, 21st century state-of-the-art stadium. Because what some people may not know is that Soldier Field, where they play, is actually owned by the Chicago Park District. They rent that space. It's not theirs. Okay. So the Bears don't have their own stadium technically. So this would be an opportunity for them to build their own stadium and build, again, a 21st century Mecca, that would rival any new stadium that's out there. So the talk is there. The Bears put in a preliminary kind of like questionnaire thing to just see like what would be involved, How much would the land cost them? Blah, 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 blah. Because any football team would. All of a sudden, you've got this huge space that's going to be unused. Now, as far as I'm to understand, the lease with the park district, I think, goes to 2031 or 2 as of right now. So I don't know what happens there if they do decide to somehow obtain this property and build a new stadium on it, if they have to wait till that lease is up, or can they break it, or what? I don't know any of the specifics of that. But yeah, for now they are under lease to the park district for Soldier Field to I think like 31 or 32. So,
Okay.
but yeah, the talk is there. I mean, it's all over sports radio. And I personally think it would be a great idea to do. Soldier Field is terrible for parking. It's right off of one of our busy expressways, Lakeshore Drive. There's also it's a part of the downtown thing. Like our museums are over there. It's a pretty crowded space on any given football game on a Sunday. It's just a lot of traffic.
Okay.
This would totally alleviate that. You could build tons of parking around this Arlington Heights structure, state-of-the-art stadium, state-of-the-art parking. You could do the whole thing. You could put a dome on it so you could have like WrestleMania or Final Fours or whatever, which of course we don't have because of where we live. We have outdoor stadiums. We don't get Final Fours. We're not getting WrestleMania. We're not getting any of that stuff. They're not going to come here because in January it's below 20. But I think it's an opportunity, and I hope as a Chicagoan and as a lifelong Bears fan that they actually pull the trigger on this and build the Bears a nice stadium. That's just me.
Okay.
That's the deal with that. So we'll see. That's a developing story always. As time goes on, if I hear anything that I think is of importance, I'll certainly pass it on to you. But for right now, that's where it is.
For sure. Sounds good. So I'm just going to be quick and point with Baltimore Ravens updates. So Ronnie Stanley, Nick Boyle, Ben Cleveland, Arturo Alaka, Amar Marshall, they're all going to be on the let me take Ben Cleveland off that list. He didn't pass his conditioning test, but Stanley, Boyle, Alaka, Marshall, they'll all be on the unable to perform list. And then Jawan James, who we signed from the Denver Broncos, who lost out on $20 million because he tore his Achilles off the work site. So I doubt he'll play this year.
He won't.
I don't see him. No, I don't see him playing. He'll probably be in practice if we play like non-contact. But I don't see him at all. He'll probably miss this year. But we got him on the.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
We got him. It was on a cheap deal, like non-guaranteed. So
no team is going to rush a player like that. You know what I mean? Like,
sure.
And especially an offensive lineman, especially if he has capabilities of being one of your tackle, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, there's no way they're going to rush him through that. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Like the standard is a year, and like honestly,
Easily.
so they're just gonna. He's gonna, and according to his deal is only for like. He don't really get any money until like next year kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, he's not even in the equation right now.
No, but I'm just saying they have to put him on the list.
Of course. I'm just saying he's not playing this year.
Yeah, for sure.
It's a wrap for him this year. I think and just the fact that he's able to get on a team after what happened.
And I think the Denver Broncos did him dirty too.
They did do him dirty. Did him dirty.
And then obviously, my only concerns going into the offense this season is the offensive line, which has been revamped. We signed Alejandro Villanueva from Pittsburgh, Kevin Zeiler from the New York Giants. They like Bradley Bozeman at center. Matt Sikora and Patrick McCarry weren't centers. I was mad we could have really gotten tight end. I forgot who drafted the center. I forgot who drafted him.
Which center were you talking about? From this year's draft?
Yeah, no, from this past draft. He was a center. He was taken in the second round. I was mad. Like he was sitting there.
Leatherwood?
Not Leatherwood. Dickinson.
Oh, Dickerson.
Yes.
I think, yeah.
I wish we could have taken him instead of Odafe Awanye, but we needed a linebacker. I don't know who the number 3 wide receiver is going to be. It could be Poche, Duvernay, Miles Boykins, even if they want to convert him to a tight end.
Didn't y'all get Bateman?
Rashad.
But I think it's Rashad number 1, Hollywood 2.
Really? You think Rashad jumps to number 1 that quick? Okay.
I mean, in my opinion, I think that's how it should be, because Hollywood Brown's not a number 1. He's legit number 2. And I think more like a number 3. No, I'm sorry. It's Sammy, Rashard.
Right. Sammy Watkins is probably your number 1 going in.
Sammy, Rashard, and then probably Hollywood.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Hollywood fits best at slot. Honestly, they're trying to make him a big man on the outside, make him like a Steve Smith type deal, and
we call it what it is.
That's just not necessary. Just literally put him where he should be, and then your team will excel. Your team is old school, but they're trying to act so new school, and it's kind of crazy, man.
Well, they have a new school quarterback. That's why, right?
But they have 2 big wide receivers.
Oh yeah, Bateman's 6'4", man. That was a beast.
That are literally honestly, you guys have potential to be probably the best trio wide receiver in the league.
My only concern going forward also too is health. I know Sammy Watkins hasn't played like the true, I forgot where he was drafted, a high draft pick when he's supposed to be. But I saw the flashes in Kansas City and when he was in Buffalo, if I remember correctly. I've seen
You're right, go ahead.
Okay. I've seen the flashes of what he can be. So I'm really kind of want to know where that's going to look. My only really concern is that we haven't addressed the need of a pass rusher. Matthew Judon's in New England, and Yannick Ngakoue's in Oakland. I'm not calling them the Las Vegas Raiders. They're Oakland. I'm not doing that.
Okay.
To
each their own.
We have a little under $10 million in the cap. I think it's like 9 to be exact. And Melvin Ingram's in Pittsburgh. Justin Houston, his name has been attached to us for quite some time. There are some guys that are out there that we could get on the cheap. But I don't know if we're just waiting to see after training camp, or does Eric DaCosta and John Harbaugh feel like, and Martindale, that they feel like we got what we need? Because besides Malik Harrison, Patrick Queen, now on Odafe Onwa, and then LJ Fort, who else do you really have? You don't really have anybody else. So
yeah, your pass rush worries me, man.
It does.
For a defense that's supposed to, a team that really has been relying on your defense, for
years.
For years.
Since the day I was born.
Won them a Super Bowl.
Yes.
This is insane. Literally, this is the year you guys are going to have to rely on your offense.
I'm very concerned, but I feel like they're playing okay, let's see who's going to get cut from a team, and we'll sign them. Because Eric DeCosta because you know how teams are. Eric DeCosta is kind of one of those sneaky guys. Well, okay, we'll bring him in. We'll bring him on the cheap, and we'll take it from there. So I'm curious to see what what the Ravens are going to look like. That's really the updates that's going on in Owings Mills. But also too, just a quick note, I gotta ask at some point. I want to get to both of you guys, and I'm gonna try to get some other people on here, probably like Sean. We got to do a predictions video of this upcoming season. Where do you see teams? Where do you think they're going to be? We gotta collab on that. That'll be a great video for the podcast.
Okay.
Next topic is around the NFL news. Some things have happened. The New England Patriots, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers visited the White House, and I gotta ask, do you guys see Tampa Bay repeating this upcoming season?
Go ahead, Nick.
I'm going to say shot, and I'll say it because of this. We know it's very hard to repeat in general. That goes without saying. But when you return all 22 starters from a Super Bowl team, yes, they're all a year older, but you're returning all 22 starters. That's incredible to me. That is something you'd never see in football. Teams always break apart. At least one or two guys leave or something happens, whatever.
Yeah.
So the fact that they're bringing everybody back, and again, the uncertainty in Green Bay, who was their biggest competition last year.
For sure.
You think Seattle's going to be better? Okay. But are they better enough to overtake Tampa Bay? I mean, who else do you look at in the NFC in terms of people who could overtake Tampa Bay? It's not a big list, to be honest with you. So I say there's a shot that Tampa at least could get back to the Super Bowl. Again, it's a shot. I prefer it not to happen, but I could, if it does, I wouldn't be utterly shocked. I'll put it that way.
Az, what do you think?
I say, to me, I think Tampa Bay is literally okay. So to me, I say this: you can't stay the same and then think you're going to repeat. Like, to me, as an analyst, you just don't sit there and say 22 positions is absolutely perfect and is able to repeat. 22 players is absolutely perfect. And to me, I think, it's like they went through free agency absolutely lazy. They really did. And to me, I don't think they're going to repeat at all for that reason alone. 1 year later, that means 1 year of tapes, 1 year of people knowing your offense. And honestly, to me, it's just that you don't add the whole point of free agency is to get better. And Tampa Bay literally just said, we don't need to get better. And I'm like, and to me, it's like, to me, you can always get better. Like, everybody can always get better. You know what I'm saying? Like, I could be the best husband, but I could always be better. You get, like, it's just, but if you sit there and you say, I'm fine, I'm the way it is, there's nothing wrong, like, we don't have any arguments, we're good, we're not losing and everything like that, like, you're literally asking for these defeats. And to me, honestly, if Tampa Bay was not in such a shitty division, I'd even say that they wouldn't even make the playoffs, for real.
Oh, really? Oh, wow. Okay, look at that. Oh, you don't think TB has the resolve to get them that far, huh?
Let me say this again: if they weren't in such a shitty division, I think, like, because in the division that they're in right now, they're going to win the division. Okay. I feel that's what's going to happen. Okay. But if they weren't in this shitty division, and if Drew Brees was back in New Orleans, it might be a different story, y'all. It might be a different story. So if any person that says I'm good, I don't need to change, I don't trust that person. I don't. I really don't.
That's fine.
I don't trust the team that does that. Okay. I'm just,
even a team led by the greatest of all time. You don't trust that. I said even a team led by the greatest of all time.
I'm trying to tell you. I'm trying to tell you. As much as I like Tom Brady, I even saw something today that Tom Brady did that really impressed me.
Oh yes, throwing the footballs,
throwing the football into the jug machine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I did see that. Yeah,
that impressed me as all be damned. Okay,
that did.
It really impressed me, and to me, it's just that if you say you don't need to change to be better, I don't trust you. I don't trust you at all. I don't trust anything that's going, like, anything around you. So to me, I just, like,
Right, but
And tell you the truth, I don't even like you were talking about Aaron Rodgers being very good throughout the year. Tom Brady wasn't even that good through the year, if we're being honest.
He has some inconsistencies.
No, he did right, but again, I don't want to beat a dead horse. He came through when it counted.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm just saying,
it's like the argument of Eli Manning being a Hall of Famer. Like Eli Manning in his season is garbage, but he was able to get to the playoffs because of the division he was in. But there's no doubt in people's mind that he's going to be a Hall of Famer.
But that's media and stuff. Like I tend to agree with you. I don't think Eli was one.
But I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry, but I was just saying, like, I don't think Eli was one of the greatest quarterbacks either. But as you said, that's a media thing, though. He's won 2 Super Bowls. He beat Tom Brady twice. So in a lot of people's mind, that's an accomplishment. That's a Hall of Fame quarterback. I'm just saying. I know what you're saying. I got you.
Yeah, because to me, that's what I'm saying is that we can throw away what's in the season, but it's what you do in it's what you do in the postseason. It's what you do in the Super Bowl, and that's what we judge players on. And to me, I think that's ridiculous. It's ridiculous for us to sit there and like, do we all want titles? Do we all want the championship? Sure. Absolutely, but the majority of us don't get it.
Right.
That's true. But does that mean we're not as great as we are because we don't do it in the postseason?
Good point.
Or I mean, no. I don't disagree with that. I don't. That's my argument for and I know this is a totally different subject, but
yeah,
that's why I like Phillip Rivers because of what he did in during his 17-year career. A lot of people will argue with me, and that's fine. I get it. I'm not trying, but I think Phillip Rivers had a hell of a career. Dan Marino never won a Super Bowl, had a hell of a career, right?
And they're both Hall of Fame quarterbacks.
I agree with you. Yes, I agree. I think Phillip should be in. Yeah,
everyone, because Eli Manning won the championship, he's a Hall of Famer quarterback, and that to me is it's crazy, man. Like I'm like upset about it. Okay,
I can see that you're very you lost your shirt over it. That's
like literally this man he's like fit, like he has the same number of touchdowns as he does interceptions.
Hey, come on, Joe Flacco won a title. All right, just saying. I know. Joe Flacco won them. As Nate looks at me and says, "You'll never be on my show again." Never disparage Baltimore. Never disparage Baltimore in my presence. Right?
Because I love Joe Flacco, but
I know you do. I know you do.
Those years after the Super Bowl, nah, man. Like that hurt. That hurt. That still hurts. There are 3. I'm just kidding. It's all good. There are 3 unsigned first-round picks: Zach Wilson, Trey Lance, and Rashard Slater. How y'all feeling about that? They're the last 3.
Slater gets done. The Chargers are not going to not protect Justin Herbert. That Rashad Slater deal will get done.
I'm not sure what that's about.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. You would think by now that he would have, being the 13th pick, that should have been almost a no-brainer. He should have been first.
And especially Zach and Trey, they were top 5.
Yeah, I agree. I got to assume they're going to sign, right? Like training camp starts this week for everyone.
I'm not sure. Maybe it's something in the contract. I don't know.
It is something in a contract. So literally, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I say it's got to be because otherwise it should have been done by now, right?
Should have.
Literally, it's language in the contract, and like whenever you see, especially with the new CBA, from what I understand, is that these players are literally holding out for like 3 words in a contract.
Yeah.
And it's basically saying that
Malibu Beach House.
Okay. What's up?
I said Malibu Beach House.
No, it's literally that they're saying that they can still be paid if they get hurt after the first or second year.
Okay. I get
the next year. Yeah. And they can still be getting their guaranteed money.
That's what it is. It's guaranteed money. You want that guaranteed money. Yeah.
That's that's all the money that matters. That's all the money that matters to guarantee money. And so that's the language that they are fighting over is like when you got a few years back, it was one of the Bosa brothers that waited until like literally into training camp
to sign his contract. Yeah,
before he signed his contract, and it was just the language in the contract, and it's just basically saying, it's like the ferments or whatever, and it's so that they don't have a situation like Dwayne Haskins, and basically the team doesn't want to keep paying you after they release you.
right.
And the players are like, look, I'm a first round pick. You need to just give me as much money as you can.
Right. Good point. Good point. I mean, like y'all hit the nail on the head. So it's all about the guarantee.
It's all about the money you can get.
I'll save that for the next topic.
Okay.
Aaron Rodgers. I read this actually a while ago before the show started. I meant to bring this up during the Aaron Rodgers topic, but it's good now. Aaron Rodgers wants $90 million guaranteed over 2 years.
That's what he wants?
That's what he's seeking.
Really?
Sure, man.
I thought he turned down the contract extension they offered him, though, and it was pretty sizable.
Are you sure, man?
Where did that bit of news come from? Right. Yeah, where'd that come from?
This is from
The National Enquirer.
It's saying, Roger wants $90 million guaranteed over 2 years.
Wow.
No.
Now, do you think that's just to rape Green Bay over the coals, essentially? Like, if that's true, if in fact that's what he's seeking from them, do you think that's just him bending them over and going, "You're going to take that"?
I wholeheartly disagree with this. I do not I don't even know where because I follow football
right
more than I follow my kids, and and to me, I tell you the truth, this is not something I've seen before. I heard that Green Bay offered Aaron Rodgers a deal that would make him the highest paid player, but there was no specifics in that and what it was. And then I don't know if you guys knew this, Aaron Rodgers already has a deal that has him there for the next 3 years. So the deal. I'm sorry,
I didn't catch the last part of that. My apologies.
Oh, so he has a deal that has him connected with the team for the next 3 years already.
Okay.
He already has a deal with them for the next 3 years.
For the next 3 years.
The issue is there's no guaranteed money.
Right.
Yeah, I knew you heard me say that earlier. That's all that matters is the guaranteed money.
Well, I knew he was under contract with Green Bay. That's the whole thing. Is he's just holding out. And that's why he said it's not. He says it's not about the money, but it is. Like, it's about that guaranteed money. Like, I know what you're saying, right? Like, but he's saying that, well, it's not about the money because, like you said, he turned down the extension they offered him. We don't have the details of it, but he apparently turned it down, and it is true that they offered it. So it's obviously wasn't what he was looking for, and obviously it wasn't as guaranteed as he probably would have liked.
Well, if we're being honest about it, it's from the media, so we don't know
what happened.
Right. You know,
just pro football talk.
We're all these shows is assumptions. So but to me, and so from what I was saying, he already has a 3-year deal that has no guarantees in it, and he's already tied up to the team. Mm-hmm. So what the Green Bay Packers did was add another 2 years to that deal to make him the highest paid player.
Player.
Okay, but with contracts, extensions, restructures, when they add all that funny talk into it, that means it's funny money. So he's not. So you can say, oh, he's going to be the highest paid player with this extension, but if you really think about it, throughout 5 years, that's not really. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I got you.
That's not Patrick Mahomes money. You know what I'm saying?
And that's not even what Lamar Jackson could get potentially.
That potentially Lamar can get this 40, 50 million apparently. You know what I'm saying? So, and to me, Aaron Rodgers I think Aaron Rodgers just wants to say so at the table. You know what I'm saying? Like he wants to say, "Hey, I'd like a choice between chicken and steak." Like,
Right,
come on. Like he wants to, and I think we all can agree that he has like he is allowed that. Like he is like he deserves that. You know what I'm saying? Like if we can say Tom Brady deserves it, why not Aaron Rodgers? And I think that's the argument is that these these quarterbacks are getting to a point where they're like, I know this is y'all team, but this is my team. This is my team. So you guys, like, if y'all want to win, y'all have to mold this team around me.
Good point. That's fair. That's fair. Okay, we're going to kind of move into the next thing. Sam Hubbard got a 4-year deal, 4-year extension worth $40 million. I think that's a big signing. I think that'll help Cincinnati's defense for sure. Deshaun Watson is decided to report to camp. He would have been fined up to $50,000,
which is exactly why he reported.
Right, for sure. I'm kind of still, fellas. It's just me, and I'm just want to real quick. I just feel like with the situation that he's going right now, he still wants to be traded, but he's still dealing with these sexual assault allegations. I just something just doesn't feel right to me about that. It doesn't. Go ahead. So, any thoughts?
I mean, I didn't think it was something. Did you necessarily want to get into that, or you just wanted to make that statement?
I just wanted to make that little point.
Okay, no, that's fine.
Because I just feel like it just, I don't know. It still is a bad taste in my mouth the way it's happening. So, Chandler Jones requested a trade.
Do you question that, considering what they did in Arizona this past offseason?
What did they do?
Well, I mean, they made the defense a little bit better. I know J.J. Watt is not the guy he once was, but you would think that, and then with the offense and everything, you'd think, why, I mean, why is he disgruntled? Like, that's, I guess, what my question.
Well, according to ESPN's Jeremy Fowler, he's unhappy with his contract and his future with the Cardinals. He is entering in the final year of his contract, according to Spotrac.
Final year of the contract. Okay, there you go.
$15.5 million.
So if you guys didn't know this, usually the last year of the contract, it doesn't include any guarantee money.
Team money, right? It does not.
All the guarantee money is front loaded.
Correct. Usually it is. You're right. You are correct.
So when players get to the end of their contract, they're looking for a new contract, i.e. Hopkins, DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah,
like DeAndre Hopkins.
Next topic, by the way, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, so DeAndre Hopkins is a master at this, and this man, keep in mind, he has no agent. He's making these drug deals.
That's what really
on himself. Yeah.
So, like this, like to me, that's awesome right there. He's not giving up no 10%. So, but he, especially where he's come from, that like this man is basically knows what his worth is.
Right.
And he's fighting for it. And that's where we all should be. That's where the players should be. Because and I know us as fans, we're sitting here looking at it like they're still in the contract. They should be playing. Da 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 da. But these people are people too. And we need to be looking at them as such also. They're fighting for themselves. Why should we have a problem with that?
Good point. Now we're saying they got to put food on their family's table, different things like that. But I mean, like, I didn't mean to cut you off, Abs, but like,
no, I was pretty much done, man. That's what I was saying.
Good point. Those are good points. And then also too, they're not obligated. Like I feel like if he's unhappy, trade him, you get something for him. Because I feel like also too, Jordan Hicks, since they drafted the linebacker, they cut me out because you had him on your mock draft.
What's that?
The linebacker the Cardinals drafted.
Oh,
yes, David Collins.
Okay.
Like he doesn't at Those are two potential trades the Cardinals can make. The Cardinals on paper have the best roster, in my opinion. And I mean, I hope it could all work out, but at the end of the day,
so he's what they call it in the league, long in the tooth or something like that. I mean, he's like what 30 something maybe.
31.
Chandler Jones, 30, 31.
Yeah, so he's at that age where they're like, okay, we're not about to re-sign you for a lot of money. You know, Von Miller's in that same boat too. Von Miller, I think he's a free agent after this year too. So, like, we just need to sit there and look at it. Like, at 30, teams really reconsider signing you.
Yes, they do. They do.
Like, especially at a high impact position.
Yeah, they do.
They're not going to sit there and be like, okay, here's all the money, da 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 da. But if you're a skilled position, okay, they'll think about it. You know,
they'll take a look at it.
Yeah. Sure. Because you're not getting hit every play. But defensive end, an edge rusher, linebacker. Once you get 30, a running back. Once you get 30, you're done pretty much, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Adrian Peterson can't even volunteer for a position, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? So
he can't volunteer.
Nobody wants AP, right?
Nobody
wants AP.
I don't do AP like that. What about Frank Gore?
Frank Gore, I don't know. I think Adrian Peterson is a hell of a lot better than Frank Gore, and a hell of a lot better of a running back than Frank Gore. But Frank Gore, for whatever reason, keeps getting signed. Like, and I don't know where he signed or if he signed now, but
Frank Gore he's a free agent.
But his stats are incredible when you read them.
But
which threw me last year.
Longevity, though.
That's longevity. I know. That's what I'm saying. He's stuck around. He's managed to catch on with teams that needed veteran presence or whatever. And
no, what I'm saying is that he has the luxury of signing on to teams. I don't know what Frank Gore has that Adrian Peterson doesn't.
Oh, that Adrian Peterson doesn't.
You get what I'm saying? Like, Frank Gore is probably a year older than older than Adrian Peterson, but still gets signed to teams. And it seems like AP has to beg to get on the roster.
Maybe bad timing, though, maybe with AP. Like coming out of Minnesota and going to Washington and then kind of like that, or I mean to New Orleans first, sorry. Yeah. And that didn't quite work out because of what they had. So then he goes to Washington. I don't know, maybe just bad timing.
I think, in my personal opinion, with Frank Gore and AP, I think a lot of it, unfortunately, I hate to say this, but because of what happened a few years ago with his son, unfortunately, I think that it's a paper trail. It follows you wherever you go. Like people, I think sometimes.
I mean, the Adrian Peterson incident you're talking about?
Yes, where he disciplined. Some people look at his discipline, and others looked at it like it was.
He beat his son. Yeah, I got you.
And I think that is kind of the reason why Frank Gore is getting more looks than Adrian Peterson. So, and then also too, on top of that, like Adrian Peterson, I know is also going through some financial issues. I know, like last year, in 2018, a Maryland judge ordered him to pay like $2.5 million, and then it's messy with Adrian Peterson. I think both of them fit an NFL roster, regardless of. That's just me.
I'll add this too, and just to add to the argument that I think Frank Gore accepts the position that he's in, and there's no arguments for it. Frank Gore is like, I'll be the running back to get the tough yards. I'm okay with only getting like 50 yards a game,
right?
And everything like that. You guys don't even have to give it to me at the goal line. But Adrian Peterson, like you guys know, he's chasing numbers. He's chasing Hall of Fame numbers. He's chasing records. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's probably the difference too is that you would significantly have to change your game in order to acclimate Adrian Peterson onto your team.
Right.
Good
I
point.
get you.
Good point.
As opposed to Frank Gore just accepting his role on
And
the
what? Yeah.
Right, for sure. I got you. Good point. Good point, Abs. Real quick, Gardner Minshew the second on competing with Trevor Lawrence for the number 1 quarterback position.
I love this right here, guys. I love this.
In preparation for the competition, I haven't taken a shit in weeks. Number 2 isn't an option for me.
I love this.
I love that. Okay.
Oh, Gardner. That guy's a character. You got to love that guy.
Gardner's a good quarterback. When we played them last season as a home game, he did. I feel like, again, taking over the situation with Blake Bortles and how that was a whole mess. I think Gardner can be. He's proven he can be a starter, but we all know at the end of the day, like Nick Saban,
Urban Meyer.
Excuse me.
Urban Meyer, yeah. Nick won't come back to the NFL. Don't worry.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Drew Brees' career is the reason that Nick Saban will never coach in the NFL again.
No, but we all know that Trevor Lawrence is the number 1 starter, hands down. Like,
well, you drafted him number 1. I sure hope so.
Are we having a discussion?
Yeah,
I don't know. Are we? Right, go ahead.
How do you feel about the quote?
Okay. No, I love that. I love that quote. Honestly, very clever. Very honestly funny too. I love that quote. You know what I'm saying? To me, I'm a Minshew fan for that quote right there. To me, I think if the team was smart, they start off with Minshew and let Lawrence get acclimated with just everything. But to me, Minshew Minshew. I think Minshew is on the level of what is it, Fitzpatrick? Ryan Fitzpatrick. He's on the level of Ryan Fitzpatrick. He's literally gonna have you add him onto your team because he provides great depth, and honestly, he's a good backup. But if he's ever the starter, if you deem him the starter, his leash is very short. And you are not going to be honestly, the moment this person loses a game or 2 in a row, 2 or 3 games in a row, they're calling for the backup immediately.
Yeah, right. And I got
you know what I'm saying? And then sometimes people are like, oh, it's the best player, da 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 da. Nah, sometimes it's the court of public opinion. And that's sometimes that will push a player out of their
comfort
spot.
zone.
No, not comfort zone. Their spot on the team.
Okay, gotcha,
the teams will listen to what the fans and media is saying about this player, and they're like, you know what? It's too much heat. I'm not trying to hear none of that shit. All right, here, put this player in.
Right. I mean, we'll see what it looks like in Jacksonville, but we all know Trevor Lawrence is going to be the starter, ladies and gentlemen. That's a no-brainer.
Yeah, eventually, yeah, he's going definitely.
Real quick, last news around the NFL. Russell Wilson spent $1 million.
$1 million.
He spends $1 million a year on recovery.
Does that mean he takes Sierra on vacation? Is that what that means? That's $1 million in mental, health and strengthening and everything. Take Sierra on a vacation, get away for a while. I just want to know,
Well, I kind of feel like I'm not sure that's a shot at the Seahawks for, all the saying, well, look, you didn't give me any protection.
Right, for getting his ass beat for the last few years.
Yeah, so I'm not sure
9 years.
9 years. I don't know if that's a shot. I'm not sure
8, 9, what's the difference?
So,
yeah, go ahead.
I was waiting until you finish.
I just wanted to just give a quick point that the NHL has a new hockey team, the Seattle Kraken.
Kraken, the Seattle Krakens.
Krakens, bro.
Krakens. I just want to give them a quick
You don't
shout
like
out.
fantasy, Nathan? You don't know what the Kraken is? Release it, baby. Release the Kraken.
The Krakens.
I can't wait to see what they look like. I just want to give them a shout out. Welcome to the National Hockey League. I can't wait to see what they look like. I just want
Seattle Kraken. They're going to look like the Kraken.
All right.
Go ahead, Abs.
So what I was saying is that if you work out, if you do a contact sport, like anything along those lines, recovery is just as important as working out.
Sure.
And you just said it, Nathan, is that, and you, Nick, you said it too, was that Russell Wilson has been getting his ass whooped
Yeah, he has.
the whole time he's been in Seattle. And this is where, and honestly, this, and I hate to say, like, beat a dead horse. Is that the saying? Beat a dead horse?
Yes.
We're gonna
Yeah.
find out. Depends on what you say, right? Is that
I
it?
hate to beat a dead horse, but this is what Aaron Rodgers is homing in on, is
Give me some help.
like literally, guys, this is it. Russell Wilson didn't go in the avenue of Aaron Rodgers, but
Right.
but like, to me, is like, why are we really condemning a player standing up for themselves on what the team is obviously not doing? Like, anybody with eyes can see that these players don't have the significant help that they need to do what they should. Like, honestly, it's just that everyone, like, Russell Wilson has never had a losing season.
Nope.
Russell
No.
Wilson has never, I even believe he's always had like a 9-win season, at least 9 wins in a season.
Yeah, I believe that's true.
And even and what, 8 out of 9 times made the playoffs, something crazy like that. But when people see that status quo, they think that they don't need to do anything else to improve it. And to me, I think quarterbacks are finally fighting for that. It's just that, I can do this and do that, and I can run around, scramble for about 30 seconds, and throw it down the field 60 yards. But do I have to? Like, why should I have to? And I think Russell Wilson is literally, that's the same. Like, it's not as dramatic as Aaron Rodgers, but it's in the same lane. It's in the same conversation. And Russell Wilson is, and honestly, it's like a passive aggressive way of saying I need help, by saying I spent $1 million to take care of myself because of the ass whooping I take all year.
The point.
It's passive aggressive as a mug.
No, right, but then see, I don't want to start the whole argument over. I don't. I'm just saying though, but it shows you the two different approaches that people can take to the same issue. As you say, Aaron Rodgers may feel the same way that he felt about Seattle, and why Russell. There was talk early on about Russell saying, "Well, maybe I want to go somewhere else because you guys aren't doing what I want you to do." But I'm just saying, it shows you how two different guys in a similar situation handle it. And that's more what I was condemning about Rodgers. And I know we got on all the points. We've already had the argument. I'm just saying that, to me, I thought Aaron handled it more like a teenager than an adult, was my whole point. And I think Russell shows you a way you can handle it and still get your point across without really holding the team up and being like, well, screw you guys, I'm not doing anything. That's all I'm going to.
But did his point get across, though? That's the whole thing. I don't think Russell's point got across, because I don't think they've done much to better his situation on the offensive line. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, if they addressed it during free agency or in the draft. Did they?
I thought at some point they draft. Okay, I'd have to go back and look for sure. I did watch the draft, and I thought that at some point in the 4th or 5th round they picked up a line. I could be wrong. I'd have to double check. But I don't think. Yeah, I think they picked up someone in the draft to help with the offensive line. I guess we'll find out this year. If they really did anything. I don't.
They only had 3 picks. They checked Stone Forsythe.
Yeah. See,
and
that's what I was going to say. And that's what I was going to say. Is because they gave away all their draft capital for Jamal Adams.
Jamal Adams, yeah.
Yes. And so that's another, like, on the opposite end of the field, 1. And then 2, is that they didn't have a pick until like the third or fourth round.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, do you think 10 years would have? Do you think 10 years of this would bother Russell? Like, do you think Russell will still be taking it professional and like with grace and everything like that 10 years later? Do you honestly think he would do
Well,
that?
again, we had that argument too. Has it been 10 years for Aaron Rodgers being disgruntled, or is it just the last few?
It's not an argument because
No, I know.
honestly, I could argue that Aaron Rodgers has been disgruntled with this front office.
I know,
for
the whole
17
time.
years.
Right. We established that already. Yeah,
yes.
right.
What's wrong? What's your
They
face?
really only had 3 picks.
Yeah. Seattle didn't have many picks. They didn't have much to go on.
And
Oh,
I
good
can't
Lord.
even think of any free agent moves that they've done, bro. I can't.
Offhand, I think you're right. I don't remember any. I don't.
Wow. Like I really didn't even peep that. Like wow. Okay.
You avoided my question, by the way, Nick.
I'm sorry. What was your question, brother?
After 10 years, do you think his stance would change with the team?
Possibly, sure. If you have, again, as you said, 10 years is that's why that was part of my point. No, that was part of my point. You can give your Joker smile all you want. I asked you initially, did you really think that Aaron has been that disgruntled for over 15 years? I know. And that's why I'm answering I'm saying, yeah, it's possible over 10 years. I don't feel like Aaron has been disgruntled for 15 years in Green Bay. I feel it's only the last few when Gutekunst took over. That's all I'm saying.
When Favre is doing his hissy fit, you don't think Aaron Rodgers was having an issue with that?
What, when Favre having a sissy fit?
For 3 years.
Hey, I mean, yes, he very he could,
man. Like I can't. If we're gonna talk, answer my question, man.
Hold on, he could have, but I don't know that. He's a young quarterback wanting to get playing time in the NFL. He probably was told you're going to sit for a few years behind Favre, and then we're going to give you the job. So I don't know what went on there. You want me to go back 17 years and say that that's how he felt?
Aaron, am I the only one that remembers what happened back then?
In what terms of what, sir?
With Brett Favre.
No. I remember with Brett Favre, the situation with Brett Favre. He did.
Brett Favre literally did not want to attend training camp.
Right.
And literally said he was going to retire like 3 years in a row.
I know. I remember he did that.
So what is that? So,
and he was criticized then for it. And Aaron Rodgers is doing the same thing, but you don't want us to criticize him for that.
This is not the same thing.
It has similar things.
This is not the same thing.
See, that's where we might differ a little bit, my friend. Because there's some similarities there. Let's just be honest.
Similarities and the same thing are two different things. So I'm not saying there's not similarities. I'm saying it's not the same thing. That's my argument.
Peanut butter and jelly, peanut butter and strawberry jam. I don't know. You say tomato, I say tomato, bro. We disagree on that.
What?
I don't think it's all that different, but he does. That's all I'm saying. He doesn't think it's all that different. I said I see similarities, and he made the point of similarities and similar are two different things. So fine. We're not going to agree on it. I understand that. I'm just saying. Tomato, bro. We're not going to agree.
Because again, we can be diverse in thinking. And I listen. I love it.
That's all that is. I'm not upset. We're giving our opinions. I'm just saying this is the way I look at it, and that's the way he looks at it. That's all.
Let him finish talking, man.
Why he had his hand on his head? I think he got the scroll because you walked up and left.
No.
He was like, no, Adams, don't leave. Come back.
No, it's all good. Let's transition into the last topic, fellas. I feel like this is the bread and butter. I mean, we're 2 hours and 34 minutes into the show.
Was that all?
Yes.
Okay.
This is definitely.
I mean, you were sleeping for most of it, bro. So.
Well, that's because I wasn't on. I was just waiting for my part. That's all.
No, it's all good, Nick. But no, I feel like this is a conversation that needs to be had. Nick, I know you, Sean, shout out to Delilah Crespo, talked about it Thursday evening. Abs, I know you, Will, and Sean talked about it Wednesday. NFL will fine unvaccinated players $14,650 for violations of its COVID-19 protocols for this upcoming season. According to ESPN's Janae Lane, Tampa Bay Buccaneers head coach Bruce Arians said it was league policy, while NFL spokesperson Brian McCarthy confirmed as much. The topic became public when Arians told Rick Stroud of the Tampa Bay Times that he plans to fine unvaccinated players $14,000 for breaking a COVID-19 protocol, such as properly not wearing one's mask. Quote, an unvaccinated player will get tested 14 times this year, Arians explained. A vaccinated player will get tested 14 times, and an unvaccinated player will get tested 140. Quote, this is again from Bruce Arians. I think it was the commitment for the guys to make the sacrifices and the families making the sacrifices to beat COVID. I mean, it's hard for 25-year-old guys to go to work and go home, and they did it. The commitment they made to each other, I think, was the big bond for those guys coming back in free agency too. I also wanted to put this out, and this was from Janae Lane of ESPN again. Cold tubs can only be used by unvaccinated individuals when physically distancing can be met. Unvaccinated players must stay 6 feet apart when showering. Physical distancing must be done in the weight rooms with unvaccinated players. With fully vaccinated teams have no limitations. Gentlemen, DeAndre Hopkins and several other players have come out basically not liking this. DeAndre Hopkins and he deleted one of his tweets basically saying, I don't know if I want to even continue playing at this point. Basically kind of throwing up retirement. Montrez Sweat from Washington. Montrez. Thank you. Montez, excuse me. I talked about it in a couple months ago, saying that there's not enough data. He doesn't feel comfortable. Like, I'm gonna start off by just saying this, y'all. And y'all know me when I say this, is that the media controls the narrative. And unfortunately, with COVID-19, you're seeing a lot of misguidance of information. Like, do your research. Talk to your doctor. There are many resources to help you know about the vaccines. I'm not going to tell people what to do with their body. It's their choice. They're not comfortable with getting a vaccine. That's their choice. But Ezekiel Elliott said he got vaccinated, and he did it because he had COVID last year. He did it for getting himself and his family protected. I feel like, again, there is the not understanding the consequences of the choices that we make. See, it's funny, right? Like, I live in Maryland. Like, I can say this for probably the other 49 states.
Where in Maryland you live, man?
Northern Maryland, Windsor Mill, Towson-ish area.
Oh, Towson?
Yes.
That's like Baltimore, bro.
Baltimore.
I have no idea, but yes, okay.
But just stay with me.
Yeah, I got it.
Like, things opened up too fast.
It did.
And there's this now. I understand we've been in quarantine, been in the house with loved ones for well over a year. Okay, we want to go back to the way things were. But it cannot happen if we don't do our part to quell the virus. It's plain and simple. This is not rocket science. And for those that all these conspiracy theorists, and again, the media, the mainstream media pushing the narrative about COVID, the vaccine, and different things like that. Look at the facts. The facts have told you around the global community. Look how many loved ones we've lost in this past year since COVID has been in existence. Think about certain things we can't do anymore. Here's the NFL, the NBA. Sean said it too. The NBA just finished its season. Major League Baseball is now in the halfway point. NHL just finished. Hockey just finished. And it's like, here it is. We have 17 games. And it's also documented, it was said, the memo came out that if we can't reschedule your game within the 17 games, you're going to have to forfeit. And like, I'll start with you. I'll start with you, Abs. Like, talk to us. Like, how do you feel about this as there's a spider on the wall? On my wall, excuse me.
Oh, I'm like, what?
How do you feel about this for the season going forward?
I can't, to me, I'm trying my best not to be judgmental when I say this. When I talk about this, it's like you said, it's like everyone deserves to make their own decisions in regards to this. But when you are in a contact sport and literally this disease is communicated through close contact with people, particles in the air, saliva, and stuff like that. And that's literally what football is. He said be right back. Then I think that's a little bit different on how you make your personal decision. And me as a person, like to me, in my family, I need to be in people's faces when I go to work. I need to travel places. I need to go places and everything like that. And so I got my shots because that's my whatever happens to me happens to me. But to me, I the way I look at it, and I can't hold this standard for other people or the NFL. But to me, I got my shots because I don't want my kids or anyone that I love to get COVID from me because of me doing what I need to do every day. And so, I mean, this is eye-opening to see how this is not everyone's mentality, because everyone's mentality is just like Nathan was saying, is conspiracy theorists and misinformed and media. And to me, I'm a conspiracy theorist myself. I can think of some things myself, guys, but this isn't one of them. I really like, to me, and especially in the NFL, it's like you are running around. You're literally running around with other people's lives in your hands if you're infected, and it's so easy to be infected and everything like that. To me, it's just crazy to me. It really is. It's crazy to me that people don't see past their own ass in this regards. And I brought it up. Like, I don't know if you want me to get as into it as I did on our show, Nathan, but
go ahead.
So what I brought up on our show is literally this COVID. If a person that chooses not to have COVID, have the COVID shot, could affect a whole positional group.
Yep.
And literally that'll affect the game plan for that team, that player, that position group and essentially the whole season. And I don't think anyone's really even thought of that. That if these players affect a whole position group, like what does it say? Like I'll just bring the Washington football team in mind. Montez Sweat had an issue with the COVID test. He infects the whole defensive line group. Now we're running around trying to find 4, 5, 6 players to play on a Sunday, and essentially that game could cost us the division, the playoffs,
Game checks.
game checks. Hell, we could even forfeit that game. You get what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Because of a personal choice. I think if your personal choice it's just how I feel. I'm more of a caring person than a lot of people. If your personal choice affects your whole team, that's 53 people plus coaches, assistants, and a whole fan base. And it's just your personal choice. I think it's a very selfish thing to do. And you aren't helping anyone by being that way. You know what I'm saying?
Good point.
So to me, I honestly just feel that we need to actually take a look and just be like, look, this is so I can protect someone else. It's not for me. It's so I can protect someone else. And not to mention, this could affect other teams. You know what I'm saying? Like when you're close contacts, hitting other people, like spit, like air part, like, you know what I'm saying? Like spit particles all in the air and just everything flying by. You might affect another team just from your stubbornness and ignorance. And how is that okay? How? How's there an argument for that, bro?
Well, I think you hit it pretty perfectly in terms of, this is a true test of how unselfish for the team can you be. As you say, like, because you're one of a 53-man roster, plus a coaching staff, athletic trainers, all that stuff. So you've got 80, 90 people, essentially, besides you, who are together in this group on a pretty much regular basis for the entirety of the football season. So, yes, I understand that people have it's a personal choice. I get all that. And you're well within your right to do that. But at some point, you have to ask yourself, this is what you've signed up for. You're an NFL professional football player. And in the grand scheme of how many people are in the world, there's not many of you. And so you're one of a select few who, for your athletic prowess and all that, was chosen to be here. And I think that does carry some sort of responsibility with you. And if you can't see past, as you say, you got to be able to see past to everybody else and to be a good, to be a good teammate and to see that this is something that's important, not just for you, but for everybody that's around you. Because again, I understand, there's guys who probably don't want, who haven't gotten the vaccination yet, who don't want to do it. But at the same time, if you want to play football in the NFL and collect that NFL paycheck, it's something you should do. Like, obviously, the Players Association thought it was important enough that they agreed to this, because that's my understanding that this was in the kind of in the language, as you talked about before, about contract language, abs. Like, that's something that obviously the Players Association would have had to have agreed with beforehand for that to now come up like, okay, guys, this is what's going to happen if you don't follow this. So that language, they had to have known about that beforehand. So that, to me, even speaks a little bit louder, like, hey, you guys knew that this was a big possibility. They're throwing it in front of you now and letting you know what's going to happen if you don't follow this particular set of standards that they have set in front of you. So I do agree. I think, I do wholeheartedly agree with you. And in this particular instance, if you're going to be part of the team, you're going to be on the team, you should get the vaccination and just prove that it's not just all about you in this particular instance. That's all.
I feel that because I think there's going to be a discrepancy, and it's because the law does not fit with what the NFL is telling the players. Law says that you can walk around no mask on,
Right. Yeah.
and everything like that. But the NFL is like, if you're not vaccinated, don't come near nobody, for real.
Right.
Like literally, and I mean, it's plain as day. And then the players are gonna go back to the NFL. Like it's just a whole bumblefuck of things, because the players are gonna go back to the NFL and be like, the law says I can do whatever I want without a mask, da, but you guys are telling me, but the rule of the NFL is this. It's like, it's a conundrum, like right there. Like literally, it's just a whole bunch of what ifs thrown back at each other. And we already seen it earlier this week. Two coaches already said,
one for the Popovich for the Patriots and Rick Dennison for the Minnesota Vikings.
They left, didn't they? They quit.
Well, Dennison left.
Dennison left. Okay.
We don't know exactly what it says. The way that they said it was because of the protocol, they left the team. We don't know if that's fired, quit, or basically given a or else situation. You know what I'm saying? We don't know that, but to me, even in my jobs, like in our jobs, it's going to get to a point where they're going to say, you need to get this shot in order to continue to work here. And
right. Listen, let me just say, when white people get fired, they call it parted ways. But when black people and other black and brown communities, it's we're laid off or fired. I just want to point that out there.
You ain't lying, bro. You is not lying. It's for real. And it's just, to me, it's crazy that that's what it's come to. Is that we can't think of our fellow man and try to protect them in this regards.
It's sad.
And I hate to sit there and be like, my views are right in this, and like, you know what I'm saying, like push this on upon everybody else. But even also, to go back what you were saying, Nathan, even if they had the information, they have their conspiracy theory on top of that. It's not going to change much.
Unfortunately,
it hasn't changed much. You know,
but I just look at it like I understand, you know, people are not comfortable, but I mean, just again, like if I'm an unvaccinated player, getting tested daily, practicing physical distance, I can't eat with teammates, can't participate in media or marketing activities while traveling, I can't even sit in the same steam room or weight room. Like, think about that. Like, you're being unfortunate. Like, it's like the kid at school
that has chicken pox.
Exactly. That's what it's like. And I'm not saying, again, I'm not forcing people. I'm not telling these guys what to do. But it's like, do you really want to go through this a whole season where, for example, DeAndre Hopkins, well, you can't sit with us because you're not vaccinated. Like, think about like the mental effect that's going to have. And unfortunately, like I said, your COVID is going to expose a lot. And COVID's kind of already seen, like you said, Abs, with work. I mean, again, I feel like it is being pushed on people to get vaccinated. But at the same time, understand there's research. Talk to your doctor and understand the choices of the choice you make, good or they have consequences. I mean, even if you're vaccinated, you can still get it. So, like, again, I just encourage these guys to really just really think, not letting, sit down with family, somebody, because I don't want to see like what happened last season, the Denver Broncos. I watched that game against they played the Saints. Three guys couldn't play. They brought in a practice squad wide receiver. That was embarrassing.
It was.
Then to the point where they asked the league had to ask, could the coach who knew the playbook, could he dress up? And they said no. Baltimore, half the team went down with COVID.
They had to reschedule that game, right?
Yes, it was weird. When they're playing on a Wednesday evening, that was weird. But I mean, like, let me ask this quick question, and we gotta move on to the last topic. If you guys are NFL players, like, how would you feel about this?
Well, I would get the vaccination. That's me personally. You're asking me, so I will answer for me, and I would do it for me and for my teammates. Absolutely.
I think I already answered this question.
Sure.
I'm especially if I'm around other players. Like I don't think people even realize the amount of like fluids that get transmitted between players, like in like a close contact sport. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like between sweat, blood, tears, and like, you know, contact, like as much as that fluid gets like interchanged between the players and everything like that, I don't see how players aren't thinking of getting the vaccine. Like, to me, I just like, and on top of that, bringing it home to your families, you're really not thinking about that. So, I mean, yeah, I would get the vaccine, if not for my contact with the players, for the protection of my family.
For sure. We're going to move on. This is the last topic of the night. Thoughts and prayers to Greg Knapp, his family. Greg Knapp died in an accident. He was hit by a motorist while riding his bike. Happened out of the blue. He was supposed to be, with the Jets. This is Robert Sahala, if I'm saying his last name correct.
Salah,
thank you. His first year as a head coach for the New York Jets, which I'm excited for, but happened unexpectedly. Just thoughts and prayers to him and his family. Same thing with Mark Eaton, former Utah Jazz. Same instance, hit by a motorist while riding a bike, and
I didn't hear that one. I missed that.
This is about a few weeks ago.
Oh, number 55 on the Utah Jazz, Mark.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, he died.
Yeah, he died. He got hit by a car by riding his bike.
That's sad. That's terrible. Terrible all the way around, but yeah.
And then Sean Bradley, and I was surprised this didn't get talked about, but he's paralyzed.
Really?
Neck down. Same situation. Got hit by a bike.
Whoa.
Hit by a car while biking.
And, wow.
He's paralyzed. He's spinal cord.
Mercy.
So, it's tough. Let me read the quick statement from the Jets real quick, and if you guys want to say anything, you're more than welcome to. But I don't know, I hate seeing that because we're told we have to share the road, and it's like, wow, when to hear that happen, that was crazy. But this is a statement from Coach Salah. The loss of a loved one is always challenging, but it's harder when it's completely unexpected. Charlotte, Jordan, Natalie, Camille, please accept our most sincere condolences. Greg had such an inner peace about him that people always seem to gravitate towards. He lived a life in a loving way that helped him connect with people from all walks of life in a unique way. His short time here, I believe the people in this organization, had a chance to experience that connection. Greg, thank you for all that you have shared with us. You will be missed, brother. So, guys, do you have anything you want to add onto that?
I'd just say my prayers go out to the families of all these guys. I mean, it's a tragedy. It sucks. What do you do? Unfortunately, it's a part of life. It sucks to say, accidents happen, but they do. And it's just, it's a terrible thing, and you just feel for the family. Like I said, there's really not, I guess, much to say. Just prayers go out to the families, and hopefully they could find some peace with it. And for Sean Bradley, who is going to live the rest of his life paralyzed, you just hope that he finds some kind of way to I guess deal with that. I don't know if that's the right way to say it, but just that he can adjust somehow, and he's able to at least have some kind of fruitful life for the rest, being paralyzed. So I just, my thoughts go out to them.
Abs.
I really just want to say my condolences, and I'm praying for peace for them and their families and friends. And it's hard to hear any of this, man. Like when you go out, it just sucks thinking I'm leaving my house and no one thinks the last time they leave the house they could potentially end up dead or paralyzed, and it's just scary to even think of that, man. So literally I'm praying for this family, families, praying for their friends, and just really praying for I hope their hearts find peace soon, because it's just hard to even overcome. So I'm sorry, and I'm just praying for you guys.
Yeah. And it just, I don't know. I mean, with COVID and just a lot of good people, just that've done good. Greg, pretty much been a quarterback offensive guru. He's worked with Steve Young, Peyton Manning, and just it's sad. And tomorrow's never promised. You just gotta give your loved ones a hug that's tighter, and just tell how much you love them. And it just sucks. It just really sucks. So rest in peace, Coach Nat, and again, thoughts and prayers to his family. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes episode 1 of season 2 of Big Nate Podcast. Gentlemen, I appreciate this. 3 hours. 3 hours.
Sorry, guys.
No, the Aaron Rodgers thing, that was great. That was great. We got to do this more. We got to do this again soon. I would like to bring these guys on. I'd like to bring you guys on, as we get closer to the NFL season. Predictions video, who won the off season, best rookie. Future episodes for season 2.
Sure, I'll try to stay awake this time.
Yeah, as we try to, we're getting ready for football. Nick, I know you're a baseball guy too, so we got to collab on a trade deadline video.
Sure, we'll work it out.
A couple things that happened today, but Abs, check him out. Washington Football Weekly with Sean Spencer, Will Kramer, and Antoine Benton. Nick Rosario, be sure to check him out on Thursdays with Sean Spencer, Delilah Criswell of Let's Talk Football, the Roundtable. And for me, you will probably see me on one of their shows, special guest. They are
Right.
always in the comments.
Sure, definitely always in the comments. We love that.
Always in the comments. But yeah, just a couple quick things up notes. So definitely be on the lookout for our first half review of the WNBA. I definitely do want to give a quick shout out to the women's 3v3 team, Steffi Dolson, Kelsey Plum, Alicia Gray, and Jackie Young. They defeated the Russian Olympic Committee. They've been on tear last few games. They've been playing really well, those 4. So I got to give a quick shout out to them. I'm going to do my best to keep up with the team USA basketball, men and women. The women play tomorrow against Nigeria. I want to wish them the best. The Olympics, I've tried to keep up with all the events as best I can, but really I love just watching basketball, and I'm going to try to catch a softball game. So
there you go.
with U.S. women. So with that being said, y'all let me know these topics we touched on this evening. Leave your thoughts in the comments below. If you want to see more like this and you want to see these guys back on Big Nick Talk Podcast, leave your comment down below. If again, you'll see this on Anchor and Spotify. Be sure to hit that like button, comment, and consider hitting that subscribe button along with notification bells on. With that being said, I'm out. Peace. Stay up.
Have a good night, guys.
Be easy, guys.
Birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Kevin. Happy birthday to you.
First of all, listen, it's interesting about all these young guys today. They never call on us and say, hey, thanks for the kind word and telling me how great a player I am. But when they play like crap and we call them out, we don't know what we're talking about. Listen, I'm easy to find, but I get sick of these guys complaining. These young guys, they never call us and say, when a coach is wrong, I'm going to call him out. But when players are wrong, I'm going to call them out. But listen, I'm going to criticize guys that they deserve it. And listen, they can kiss my ass if they don't like it.